You guys love Dumb Doggo. I love Dumb Doggo. So in today's video, we'll be checking out every Dumb Doggo video that I've ever watched. Find a comfy spot, strap in, and let's do this.
Bug-sized man. Have
Hi.
you ever wondered what it's like to fight the deadliest beetles in the world?
Not like that.
Well, let's find out. Challenger 1. Rhinoceros beetles.
Oh my
This
goodness.
beetle is the longest beetle in the world, growing up to 7 inches thanks to their massive horns.
Oh,
They
okay.
intimidate their rivals and predators by making a hissing noise. But there's no way that's working on you, right?
It
You're
might.
wrong.
I get scared pretty easily.
Hercules beetle's actually quite slow on land, as its giant horn makes it difficult to move around.
Okay, guys, I would like to think, and I want you guys to also comment down below what you think about your own strength and capabilities when it comes to fighting these beetles, but I personally think that I could probably beat a rhinoceros beetle. I like to think of it like it's a giant, like a giant lard that can't really move around that fast because it's a giant bug and it's going to be kind of confused, A, about why it's so big, and B, it's going to be super slow with its movements because it's so big and it's going to be super stiff. So what I'm thinking I could do is probably run around it since I'll be fast and tiny and agile, and then I can jump up onto its back and then stab it with my sword in order to win. But yeah, comment down below what you guys would do.
Forgot to mention he can fly.
Oh gosh.
Clumsily, though.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Now you would think that a magnificent horn like this would do a great job at the old stabby. But his horn is actually made of 2 parts, the cephalic horn and the thoracic horn. They're lined with hair and spines, and when he lifts his head up, it creates a secure pinch grip.
Oh
Actually
God.
used to grab you, hoist you into the air, and suplex you into submission.
It's a professional sumo
Beetle then
wrestler.
approaches, ready for a snack after all that hard work. Boy,
What-
he did
wait.
a great job.
Oh, he eats bananas. Okay, cool, we're fine.
Turns out he's not carnivorous. He's just
Yes.
a peaceful beetle who eats fruit and sap, and occasionally beats up other beetles. In front of the ladies, of course.
Yeah, that's how they
Hercules
get the
beetles aren't
ladies.
The only horned beetles that exist. There's elephant beetles, Japanese rhino beetles, atlas beetles, and many, many more. Into the collection you go.
Okay, 1 beetle
Before
down,
we dive
lots
into
to
the
go.
10 other unique beetles on this list, let's learn some beetle lore first. Did you know that the Hercules beetle started off as a slimy grub?
Oh yeah, a
Beetle's life
larvae.
cycle has 4 main stages. First, all beetles start off as an egg, which are usually laid near a suitable food source. Second, when the egg hatches, a larva emerges and gets to snacking right away. And not all of them
neat.
behave the same. The Hercules beetle larva feeds on rotting wood and leaves, but some other larvae are vicious, carnivorous predators.
Excuse me?
We'll
Yo!
get to them later. The main goal of the larva is to get as fat as possible, to store enough nutrients and energy for the 3rd stage in the cycle, the pupa stage.
I'm pretty sure that the Hercules, aka the rhinoceros beetle, has the longest pupa stage of all of the different beetles. And it's in its larva for 2 to 3 years, and then it could be in its pupa stage for even longer.
Fat grubber burrows into the soil to form a pupal chamber, where it breaks down and completely reorganizes its body, developing structures like stronger legs, wings, and a harder exoskeleton. And in
Wow.
the 4th and final stage, the fully formed adult beetle breaks out of its pupal case, ready to take on the world.
Pokemon evolution at its finest.
Dame plata, pero
Excuse me?
What? Did you Challenger 2.
Next up,
Tiger
what
beetle.
is that, a tiger beetle?
The fastest running insect in the world. It can reach speeds of up to 5.6 miles per hour, which is about 125 times its body length per second. That's the equivalent of a human running 700 miles per hour. Basically
What?
the speed of a jet.
How is that even
It's
possible?
also one of the most aggressive beetles, equipped with curved serrated blades for mandibles that are quite large relative to their head.
So I am kind of curious, what makes a beetle because the rhinoceros beetle and this tiger beetle look way, way different than each other. So I did look it up, and apparently a beetle just has to have hardened front wings, chewing mouth parts, which I feel like every single animal and bug has. It needs a straight line down its back, a complete metamorphosis, which we just learned about, where it goes from the baby egg into the larva to the pupal, and then it hatches into a glorious beetle. And it also needs segmented bodies with at least 6 legs, and probably only 6 legs. So it needs to have the head, the thorax, the abdomen, and then 6 legs, and they usually have 2 antennae that'll pop out of the beetle's face.
Size. But why all this fancy weaponry, you may ask? Well, it's to dismember you limb from limb, of course. Unlike the Hercules beetle, this guy's carnivorous. Oh, I think he saw you.
I'm dead. I think I lose to this beetle. Oh, is that a Breath of the Wild sound effect?
It looks like you might have a chance of survival.
Wait, why? What happened?
The tiger beetle moves too fast for its own brain. There's
what?
not enough time to process visual inputs.
Are you
so
kidding me?
They temporarily go blind mid-sprint. Oh, he's back now.
Imagine you did that as a human. Imagine after you went on like a full-out sprint, you just had to stay there to buffer. That actually is kind of how I operate. Whenever I fully sprint, I do need a couple seconds to catch my breath and buffer. So I kind of understand this beetle.
Oh, they're lost again. Apart from their visual processing speed, they're terrible with sharp turns.
Oh.
Looks like you've gotten away.
Wait, I might be able to actually... Oh,
Say hello to
God.
the tiger beetle lava, and they're just
What?
as violent as the adults. Their tactic is to burrow into the ground and wait patiently, and when prey like you stumbles along, they lurch out with lightning speed and grab you with their powerful pincers.
Okay, this is insane how the larva version of this beetle is way different than the actual full-sized adult version. I wonder if this is actually where Pokemon evolutions came from, because it's weirdly similar.
Pulling you inside. The lava has a hump with curved hooks that allows it to anchor itself in the tunnel. So there's
I do
no
not
way
like
for you
that.
To struggle out once it's latched
That is
on.
so
And
creepy.
all the while it's using its mandibles to dismember you and eat
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I like it.
Challenge
I think
free.
it's kind of cool. What is that? Was that flames?
Toxic beetles.
Toxic
Next up,
beetle.
we have the second coolest beetle on this list, the Bombardier beetle. And inside its juicy booty is a toxic chemical weapons factory.
Oh no, of course it is.
Inside the beetle's abdomen, one filled with hydroquinone and the other
Ew.
with hydrogen peroxide. When
That
threatened,
sounds
the
disgusting.
beetle squeezes these reservoirs, mixing the chemicals together in a chamber with a bunch of enzymes. The result is a violent exothermic reaction that
Okay, beetles are maybe my new favorite bug of all time. The fact that it has a laboratory inside of its butt is incredibly cool.
heats up to the boiling point of water and builds up a lot of pressure too. The beetle
Seriously?
releases this as a hot, noxious spray that can severely wound or even kill enemies.
It has
But you might
toxic
be
pee.
wondering, why doesn't this explosive beetle butt chemistry make him go? Well, a one-way valve prevents the pressure from going back into the beetle, ensuring
smart.
that it can only leave through one exit, the Bombardier beetle's butt turret. The weapon is more like a Gatling gun than a flamethrower, and each spray is made up of a series of many rapid pulses per second. This
Ew.
helps the beetle avoid overheating and damaging it.
What?
And unfortunately for you, it stores enough chemicals to repeat this pulsing spray for up to 20 times in a single fight.
So I'm gonna say it's safe to say that I would probably die to this beetle and basically my entire body would get toxicified.
Beetle's butt turret also has a 270-degree range of motion.
That is
meaning
insane.
It can protect itself from most angles. And if the boiling temperature wasn't unfair enough, one of the products of the reaction is benzoquinone, which is an irritant with a strong, stinky smell. So now you're in physical pain, the burns, and emotional pain because nobody wants to be around you.
That might be my new favorite beetle.
Challenge 4.
Ooh, underwater beetle. Water beetle.
The
Ooh,
great
diving beetle.
beetle lives in freshwater ponds and lakes.
Oh, I've seen these all of the time. I grew up with an above ground pool, and you find these all of the time, at least where I used to live. I like to pick them up because they were harmless, and they also like have really good grip. Like, I don't know if you guys can see on their arms or their little legs, they have like these little pincher things that don't really hurt, but they're super, super powerful for gripping onto things. So I remember like putting them on my fingers because I was weird, and then they would be like impossible to get them off. I would be like, hey friend, do you want to get this off? And they would try, and it would be like really weird because it would just like stick to you. And the coolest part is they can also fly.
And they've developed a taste for seafood. Oh, come on, man! They can stay underwater for over 30 minutes using a bubble of air they've trapped under their wing covers as a scuba tank.
Ah,
And
that's
once it's
genius.
depleted, they stick their butt out of the water to replenish it. The beetles are quite agile, thanks to their
They breathe
paddle-like
through their
hind
butt.
legs, which are lined with long hairs to generate more thrust underwater. They use this speed to chase down prey like small fish and tadpoles. Then with their strong forelimbs and mandibles, they grab and tear them apart, all while spewing digestive juices.
Wait a second, so are you trying to tell me that this beetle, when it grabbed onto my finger, thought that I was a fish and it was technically trying to eat me? I don't remember that happening.
Ooh, you got him! Ew, that's smelly. As a defense mechanism, the beetle secretes foul-smelling chemicals. This could cause larger fish to puke them out, or even paralyze them. You've escaped this time. But you're not safe yet, because diving beetle larvae are even more of a mess.
No! Why are they so crazy?
Aggressive hunters, capable of overpowering prey much larger than them, even other adult diving beetles. Once they've pierced their prey, digestive juices are injected through a tube in the mandible, and the liquefied nutrient soup is slept up. This vicious behavior grants them the very cool nickname of Water Tiger.
So guys, I do have a question for maybe some of you bug experts in the comments section. Can you comment on why sometimes the beetle larvae are bigger than the actual full adult beetle? Is it because they need like more energy, and in order to go from the larvae to the pupal to the adult stage, they need like a bunch of stored up calories in order to go through the metamorphosis? Is that why? Because it's kind of crazy to me that they wouldn't just stay in the larva stage, because it looks like they're bigger, they're more powerful, they're better at hunting than when they're in their full adult beetle stage.
Challenger 5. Indestructible Beetles.
What are those?
Diabolical ironclad beetle.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Ironclad because it's covered in almost indestructible armor, and diabolical because the guy who named it must have stubbed his toe on one. This is diabolical. The beetle can take a crushing force of 39,000 times its own body weight.
Are you
That's
kidding
like
me?
Being stepped on by 500 African elephants. And
How
yes,
can
they
it
would
withstand
survive
that?
being run over by a car. The diabolical ironclad beetle has sacrificed flight, and instead, its wing covers are permanently fused together to form an impenetrable exoskeleton.
I kind of feel like that's worth it, especially because some beetles are not good at flying. So if I could trade flight for becoming indestructible, and I won't have to worry about getting stepped on or even eaten, then I would totally do that.
It's made up of multiple layers of tough chitin, interlocked in a jigsaw-like pattern that allows them to flex and absorb high impacts efficiently. Ironclad beetles can also live up to 8 years, which is way longer than the typical lifespan of most beetles.
I mean, they live up to their name as being indestructible, even to Father Time.
Basically dumped all of their stat points into defense and HP, the ultimate tank build. So I guess you're not winning this fight, but you're in luck, because this guy ain't winning either. Despite its evil-sounding name, the diabolical ironclad beetle is actually quite docile, and it plays dead whenever it gets threatened. Why don't we call it a draw for now? Although, it's probably playing dead right now for another reason.
Yeah, I think that I would probably also draw against that beetle. Even right now, like if I tried to fight that beetle and I am full size and that beetle is like the size of my thumb, I can't produce more power than a car running over this thing. So even now, in my normal size, it would still be a draw, which is kind of embarrassing for me. Also, what's going on with that duck?
If you're
That was
enjoying
weird.
the video so far, it would help me a lot if you could hit the like button. Thank you. Goodbye.
I did. Don't worry. I got you, dumb doggo.
Challenger 6. Dung Beetles.
Dung Beetle!
Stinky little bugs covered in poop
Yes,
all day.
I
And
do.
you're right, but don't underestimate them, because they're actually one of the strongest creatures relative to their size.
I heard a fact about dung beetles that I will never forget, and it is that they can roll dung balls 50 times their weight. They can roll a giant ball of turd 50 times their body weight. How crazy is that?
being able to pull 1,141 times their own body weight. That's like you being able to pull a fully loaded Boeing 737 by yourself.
Yeah, bugs are built different, especially
Dung
beetles.
have a super sensitive sense of smell, which is great for finding new piles of poop. Their whole world revolves around it. They eat poop, live in poop, and raise their stinky little larva babies in poop. Different species show different behaviors. Rollers roll the dung ball to a safe spot, bury it. Tunnelers burrow into the dung piles and live in the tunnels underneath, and dwellers literally just live in the dung pile.
Isn't it incredibly cool how on this entire planet there's so many different types of animals and creatures and bugs and there's mushrooms and different things and bacterias, and we all live together harmoniously, except when people are doing bad stuff to the environment. But other than that, all of the animals live together in harmony, and then you got this thing. You got a beetle that eats, lives, and breathes poop. Like, how amazing is that?
Once a roller has captured a ball, they can't be stopped. Literally, the beetle rolls its ball in a straight line no matter the obstacles.
Wait a
If it
second.
gets knocked off course, it gets up on its little poop perch and uses the sun, the moon, or light from the Milky Way galaxy to reorient itself.
Okay, that is incredibly cool. It is an astronomer. It's Sisyphus
Dung
as
beetles
an
usually
astronomer.
aren't very aggressive, but they get serious once you threaten to steal their poop ball. It's like
I
a
don't
game of
think I
King of
want
the
to.
Hill, where the beetle stands on its ball and defends it against the other.
It's my poop! Back up!
Unfortunately, the dung beetle's love of poop is also their greatest weakness. Their
Wait, why?
predator, the burrowing owl, purposely collects poop from other animals
No.
and places it around their burrows as bait.
Are you kidding me?
For an all-you-can-eat beetle, but
That just goes into my point of how amazing planet Earth is. Not only is there the dung beetle that lives, eats, and breathes poop, there is an owl that learned this and then picks up the poop, puts it near its house, and then just waits for the beetles to come.
bluffing.
Insane. I could probably beat it in a fight, though. All I gotta do is just set a trap with some poop. What is that? Okay, that is too big.
Beetles.
Nah, I'm
Titan
good.
beetle is the biggest beetle in the world.
Whoa.
Don't look at that guy. His horn doesn't count. Anyways, Titan beetles can grow up to 6.5 inches long. And
Okay,
their
that's
large
too big for a
mandibles
beetle.
produce enough force to snap
Nah.
a pencil in half.
That beetle is gonna
Of
beat
course,
me
they
up.
have no problem cutting into human flesh too.
Well, why?
These
Why
guys
is that?
eat to get this big? Well, actually, nothing. Adult Titan beetles don't eat. In fact, they don't
What?
even have digestive enzymes.
Wait, what?
It's speculated that as larvae, they store enough energy to last their entire adult stage of life.
Okay, so that does lead into my theory that I'm thinking now might be fact, that the larva stage is meant for getting as much food and probably mass as possible, and then when it turns into an adult, it doesn't really have to worry about that as much.
And I say speculate because Titan beetle larvae have never been found in the wild. And
What?
none have been bred in captivity either.
Wait,
We
how
don't
not?
even know what they look like. Adult Titan beetles only live
I don't
for
wanna
a few
know.
weeks before they burn through all their energy supplies. So to beat these guys in a fight, all you have to do is evade them until they
Oh.
eventually flop over and die.
Okay, maybe I could do that then.
I won.
Okay, I'll
I
beat it
won.
by way of running. People are not gonna be too excited. Oh no, please don't be a rhino beetle.
There's
What-
actually another contender for biggest beetle if you go by sheer weight.
What
The
are we
Goliath
talking about?
beetle.
Of
They
course
come in
there
at a
is.
whopping 50 grams, and the larva
What?
is chunkier, weighing
Ew.
100 grams.
No.
Luckily, both of these guys aren't carnivorous, so as long as you're not trying to steal their food or their mates, they're pretty
Okay.
docile. and you
Okay,
can
stay away
escape
from the
without
food
a
and the mate.
Can't
Got
say
it.
the same about the next one, though.
Next
Challenge
up, we have tiger beetle.
Epomus beetles. To
Oh,
the filthy casual, the Epomus beetle might look like any other regular beetle, but
Yeah,
you
kind
should
of.
know better by now.
why?
Actually, I'll let you take a break for this one.
Is it poisonous?
I have another victim in mind.
Wh-
You see,
what is
throughout
that?
beetle history, there's been one slimy predator that has terrorized every bug in existence. A relentless, bottomless bug vacuum. The
Frog.
Now we're about to see the predator become prey.
Wait a second, this thing eats
This
frogs?
tale of revenge begins as a tiny larva. In the presence of a frog, the Epomus larva acts all weak and helpless. Wiggling
Oh,
its
no.
antenna around pathetically.
Eat me!
Don't eat me! Vivian is baited into thinking it's an easy meal, and it
Idiot.
guard down and
You
lunges.
fool.
And
You're
that's
so
the
dumb.
last mistake this frog will ever make. The larva dodges and immediately
What?
counterattacks by sinking its creepy double-hooked mandibles deep into the frog's slimy flesh.
That's actually incredible because I'm sure you guys have seen slow-mo videos of frogs like spewing their tongue at bugs to try to capture them, and it goes fast. Like if you blink, you're gonna miss it. So the fact that this thing has the reflexes and the agility to be able to dodge that, this thing must be insanely fast. And for those reasons, I don't think I'm gonna beat it in a fight.
There's no chance for the frog to struggle free as the larva
Whoa.
slowly slurps up its body fluids,
Whoa.
eating
Ew.
it completely. Even if
What?
the frog managed to swallow the larva, it's been known to
It's-
latch on from the inside.
So it's a
usually
juice
causing
box.
it to be violently regurgitated. And
Wow.
ready to attack the frog again.
Oh my
Once the
goodness.
larva transforms into an adult, it doesn't even bother with the bait and switch playstyle anymore. Instead, it relentlessly hunts the frog down and latches onto its back. And
Okay,
then,
that is
using its
wild.
mandibles like scissors, it cuts through the muscles and tendons of the hind legs,
What?
enabling the
No.
frog's ability to jump and escape. Then it
What?
can take its sweet leisurely time to eat the frog alive. In my opinion, this is the coolest beetle on the list. But get back in there.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
that's the
deadly beetles
deadliest
stuff.
beetle on the list. If a beetle can beat a frog, that beetle is the best. Who dat?
Stag Beetles. Stag
Oh.
Beetles are most notable for their giant pinchy mandibles.
They look so
come in
cool.
all different shapes and sizes. The largest of them is the giraffe stag beetle, with long serrated mandibles that are quite scary. When challenged, the first thing a stag beetle does is intimidate its opponent.
I'm starting to realize that a lot of beetles are named after animals in the animal kingdom, like giraffe, rhino, dung.
By rearing up onto
Okay,
its
maybe not that
forelegs
one.
and spreading its jaws. If the opponent doesn't
Tiger
knock down,
beetle.
then the fight begins. I think you can probably guess what's gonna happen next, though. Watch out, watch out, watch out! Just like Hercules beetles, stag beetles aren't carnivorous, so it just leaves you alone after it's broken your back. But it must
Oh,
be quite
thanks.
hard to get the food when you're blocked by these things all the time. Another stag beetle species known as Darwin's beetle is famous for their treetop battles during mating season. While
Whoa.
fighting for a mate, they use their mandibles to hook onto their opponent's wing covers for leverage. and keep
Okay.
them off the tree.
Beetle battles are so much fun.
In reality, though, the stag beetle's jaws look a lot worse than they actually are. They can only pinch and not bite,
Oh,
so they're not
that's
actually
good.
that painful.
So a lot of beetles, from what we're learning, their big mandibles are mainly just for grabbing, picking up, and then throwing other beetles or whatever it is that they're up against off of some high area.
Challenger 10. Imposter beetles.
Wait,
Nest
ladybugs?
beetle looks kinda cute
Nope.
with its fluffy antenna and chunky build, but don't
Ladybugs are beetles, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. I mean, they're bugs, but they're actually tiny baby beetles.
be fooled. They're the most devious critters on this list. It all starts when the ant nest beetle comes across a worker ant. Oh, come on! The beetle secretes pheromones, which the ants go crazy for. And at the same time, they also use an acoustic mechanism to imitate the sounds of a queen ant.
Whoa.
It smells like an ant, it sounds like an ant, but it sure doesn't look like an ant. Must be an ant.
What?
Beetle waltzes right into the ant nest, where it's treated like royalty.
Are you
Gets
kidding
a
me?
free spa day as it receives plenty of grooming from the worker ant.
Okay, if I had to become any beetle, which I know is not the point of today's video, but if I had to, it would be this one. It would either be this one or probably the dung beetle.
It gets free babysitters as the ants feed and care for all the eggs the beetle lays.
No way.
It also gets plenty of free meals, as the beetle repays all the ants' kindness by eating them instead.
I mean, yeah, that's what they get for being so dumb.
Somebody keeps eating all our eggs. Who do you think it is? I don't know. I guess there is one thing the ants get out of this deal, though. If a predator or ants from another colony try to invade, the beetle whips out its explosive butt spray to defend the nest.
That's pretty
Similar
good.
to the Bombardier beetle.
Wouldn't the ants, I mean, I know that ants are not very smart when it comes to maybe noticing things like that, but if I was an ant and I saw my queen ant start shooting people with explosive turds, I might start asking some questions.
Challenger 11.
What do we got next?
Blister Beetles. Our
Blister
final
Beetle.
challenger. Why don't you
Hello.
give them a pack?
I'm good, actually.
Right? Oh, okay then.
I feel like he will bite. Did I just get a
Looks like
rash?
you didn't take Nature 101. If it's got bright spots, don't touch it. Blister
Yeah.
beetles produce a toxic chemical in their bug blood called cantharidin, which causes
Ew.
painful welts and blisters to form all over your skin upon
ooze
contact. Many
chemicals.
species are aposematic, meaning they have bright colors on them to deter predators. Nice of them to warn you, but not all of them though.
What's up with that
Blisters
one?
form after an hour or so, and in most cases heal in about a week. But if you decide to crush the beetles up into a powder and eat them that way instead, you'd feel severe stomach pain and nausea, followed by
Another fun fact about these beetles is that the toxic thing that they produce is actually used in some medicines, which is kind of cool.
blisters in your mouth and throat. Depending on how many you ate, in a few hours you might have kidney damage and you could even die from organ failure. How did
From
people
one
find this
beetle?
out? Well, it's said that the ancient Romans and Greeks thought it was an aphrodisiac because
Oh,
apparently being
no.
on the brink of organ failure felt like arousal to them.
Oh,
Modern world, however, blister
What?
beetles are huge pests. They eat the leaves off of crops like potatoes and tomatoes, and even worse, they can get into the food source of livestock, like hay for horses. Who do you think would win? One horse or a couple of stinky beetles? Well,
Beetles.
ingesting just 4 grams of blister beetles can actually be fatal for the horse. I guess technically there was no winner in that.
that must be so scary because I swear these beetles are probably everywhere and they eat the hay of the horses that the horses are supposed to be eating. So you probably have hay bales filled with these beetles that are toxic.
Apart from the chemical defenses, blister beetles don't have much going for them. They've got small mandibles that aren't very good at biting, and their exoskeleton is pretty weak. Maybe this is a fight you can actually win. Really?
I don't know. I feel like I could probably win,
Maybe not.
but I might die trying.
Collection's finally complete.
What would it be like if flying were 10,000 times better than it is now?
Life would be so good.
All you can eat buffet in flight. A
I
seasoned
love
Jello
it.
for the rest of us. All you can eat food.
Yeah, don't be mad.
Be upgraded so that you can actually lean back in your chair.
Agreed. I hate whenever I'm in a plane and then somebody in front of me uses their like little baby recliner so that they can go from this to this. There's not really that much of a difference. Plus, my knees are now getting crushed. So thank you very much.
3. The plane would pick you up at your house. instead
Okay,
of needing
that's
to go to the airport.
pretty cool, actually. But I don't know if that's
Moving on,
possible.
The instructions here say a running start.
You just
That's
jump?
not what mine feel like, but, well, I fixed it. Yeah, that's right. Here's what I did with my very smart brain. Step 1, I made a list of things wrong with air travel. Step 2, I thought really hard with said smart brain. Step 3, I fixed all of those problems with my own design. And
If any airport owners are watching this, please take this into consideration because planes are sometimes unbearable.
I just gotta say, my solution is gonna blow your socks off.
I
Don't
believe
worry,
it.
That's for later. First,
Okay.
the TSA. When I think of the
Ooh.
TSA, I think of that time that they thought I brought a bomb to the airport.
What?
I'll tell that story in a little bit. Something I've
Okay.
noticed about every airport that I've been through is that the security is never fully operational. The TSA people are always
That's
go,
true.
Go, 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 go. I'm on the same page. I know there's people behind me waiting. We don't have to be all go, 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 go. If we just open a couple more lanes, then people can rush less. And with less rush, people will make less mistakes.
I'm gonna have to agree with him here, but I also do think that the TSA is probably understaffed, which is why they can't have every single lane open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's just they don't have enough people. And I'm sure if it was up to the TSA workers, they would love to have more workers helping them out and operating more lanes so that people would get less mad and that the babies would stop crying and that the world would be a better place with more TSA workers. But I just don't think that the airlines want to hire more people because it costs money. So the money is the problem here. TSA needs more money. And in order to do that, I don't think it's ever going to actually happen because people do not want to spend more money on their plane tickets. So for these reasons, I do not think that the TSA is going to open more lanes. But I do think that it would make things a lot easier.
Hey, that guy didn't take off his shoes. Get him!
Also, yeah, does anybody watching know actually why you have to take off shoes? Because I have my clothes on, right? And I have a shirt, I have my pants on, I have underwear on like 95% of the time. So if I walk through the x-ray, they can see through all of my clothes and stuff. But what's the problem with my shoes? Why can't the x-ray just scan the things that I could be hiding in my shoes? Like, I'm not hiding anything, you know, don't tell anybody if I am, but still, like, they should be able to see in the x-ray if my shoes have some sort of mysterious bomb inside of them.
I mean, if you need more people, I can help. Put me in, coach. How hard can it be, huh?
It's pretty hard, actually. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever actually seen what the TSA people are looking at when your luggage is going through the big warp speed tunnel thing, but there's a lot of different things, and they have to hit buttons so that they can go through the different layers to see what you have and to see all the toothpaste and all of the toothbrushes that you packed and all of your underpants and all of the weird stuff that you decided to bring on your trip to Mexico. But it's incredibly difficult to do it day after day and to like look at the stuff. It's probably very mind numbing looking at the same stuff 24 hours a day. So I get why the TSA probably, you know, is not the happiest most of the time, because a lot of their job is the same thing over and over and over again.
What did you do? I don't know. The thing I have a lot of trouble with when doing the whole song and dance with security is it's never consistent. In one airport,
that's true.
But in another airport, you just don't have to do that thing. Okay, people, come on. Shoes off, hats off, electronics out. You, do a backflip.
A thing that I actually learned recently is that a lot of airports, they are different. A lot of airports have different machinery. A lot of them have different x-rays. So look for signs. There's going to be signs somewhere where you can see what you actually have to take out of your luggage, or if you have to take off your hat, or if you have to take out your laptop and batteries and stuff. Some of them you also can keep on your shoes, which is pretty exciting. I'm hoping that one day every airport will have that, because I like keeping on my shoes.
Whatever. Different places, different rules. I just don't like the attitude. Don't roll your eyes at me because I keep my hat on when another TSA agent told me I don't have to 3 days ago. I get confused easily, and I have trouble following instructions properly. No, sir, your bag needs to go in the bag. You don't need to have such an attitude about it. Things you are allowed to bring and not allowed to bring also tend to trip me up. I get the majority of things you're not supposed to bring, like don't bring explosives. Not something I normally want
or knives.
Anyway, but yeah, I get it. There was,
Makes
however,
sense.
one time when the TSA thought that I brought a bomb. Kelly was in France for an extended time, and I was gonna go visit her for like a week.
Who's Kelly?
I wanted to bring her a gift. What about a nice, comforting scent from home when she gets homesick? A candle. Perfect.
I did this same exact thing, guys. I don't mean to cut off his story, but where was I at again? I think I was in Mexico, actually, and I wanted to bring back something for my mom. So I bought her a candle in Mexico, not even like in the country. Well, I guess technically it was in the country itself, but I was in the airport, right? I already went through TSA, and I got the candle in TSA, thinking that I wouldn't have to worry about it, because I know some things get weirdly categorized in the x-ray. So I thought to myself, if I buy it in the airport, then I'll be good. I already got through TSA. But then when I went back to where I live in the United States of flippin' America, they took my candle and they said, no, you cannot bring this into the country. I don't know why. They thought that I had a bomb in a candle or something. It was for my mom for her birthday, and I can't believe it, but they actually threw away my $35 York candle that I got in Mexico. Seriously?
I go through TSA doing my normal spiel of embarrassing myself while doing something wrong. But after I get through, excuse me, sir, could you step aside?
Beep,
One of the
beep, beep,
agents has
candle.
me stand near this table. He takes my bag, puts it on this table, and puts on blue latex gloves. Clearly, he's about to go through my stuff. I don't remember putting anything glove-worthy in my bag.
It's so humiliating when they go through your stuff.
In there that could be like a biohazard. Should have though. Flight's gonna be long, and the snack would have been useful. Sir, are there any sharp objects, weapons, or explosives in your bag? No. Any lighters, matches, or...
Anytime they ask me that, I'm just like, there shouldn't be, but you never know.
Flammable items? No. Did somebody slip something in my bag? I didn't bring anything crazy. Could my switch explode? And then he pulls out my candle. I think he saw the confusion on my face, because after he pulled it out, he said, don't worry, I'm not gonna take your candle. What was the purpose of your trip? I'm going to see my girlfriend. That candle is for her. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure there's no explosives in it, and then you'll be good to go. Explosives? In the candle? I know that candle is great, but I didn't know it was the bomb. Apparently what can happen is that explosives can be hidden inside of wax, which then can be used for exploding.
Did he get the candle back?
Break it or take it apart, but he just wiped it with a cloth, probably with bomb detecting juice. I'm just guessing that's a thing. I don't know. Then he gave me back my bag and my now freshly bomb juice.
Seriously? He got back his candle? My candle got thrown in the trash. Even when I talked to them, I was like, can you just keep the candle? Like, or you give it to your mom. They were like, no, sir, sorry. And then they threw it in the garbage.
Candle, and I was good to go. I have no idea what they saw in that x-ray, but it must have been weird. All of this is to say, I have a solution to make this process better, but it's only one of the pieces to the whole solution. I have more, I promise.
Next up, boarding.
The plane isn't really that good either. How long it takes to board the plane always takes a lot longer than I think it should take. It's a tight lane, so you can't get around other people when—
So before we go into that, before you even get on the plane, I always have problems with my carry-on bag. Not my checked bag, not my backpack, my carry-on luggage bag that is the perfect size carry-on bag because I bought it in the biggest carry-on size that they allow on pretty much every single plane. But like 40% of the time, before I even get on the plane, they tell me that my carry-on bag is too big and that I have to check my bag. And every single time I tell them, no, you don't understand. This is the perfect size carry-on. It's not too big. It's definitely not too small. It's the perfect size. And then every time without fail, I have to shove it into the bag check thing, which is always super disgusting and rusty. And it has this like weird fart smell to it. And every single time I shove my bag in there and I feel like I am Thor picking up Mjolnir for the first time in the first ever Thor movie. Like everybody looks at me like, oh my gosh, like how did he fit his bag into the carry-on bag department hole filler thing? And then they look at me and they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess you're good. And I have to do that every single time almost, which is insane. And that's before I even get on the plane.
When you're shuffling in. And for some reason, there's always someone who doesn't know how to put the square in the square hole. All right, let's step aside. Let me do this.
You put it in, and then you twist it. And then, yep, that's it. Or that.
I don't know either. Sometimes I wonder if it'd be better if people had to pass a test before getting on the plane. Here you go first. Hey, he can't talk to you like that. Sir, please complete your test before proceeding. But I thought of a solution that makes boarding painless and instant. And that's two solutions.
Why does the puzzle not fit together?
Seating, of course, is the next issue of flying. Got the aisle seat, the middle seat, and the window seat. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're gonna do a tier list of plane seats. Aisle is A tier, window B tier, middle is F tier. Okay, thanks for coming to my tier.
Yeah, that's it. If you disagree with that, comment down below.
A lot worse compared to the other seats because no one respects the armrest rule.
Also, before we get into actual like the different aisle and window and middle seat, I don't understand why they board the plane from front to back. They should board back to front. That way, people can go in and they don't have to walk past the people that have sat before them. It is the most embarrassing, awkward thing walking through first class, and first class is looking at you like you are broke and have negative $1,000 in your bank account, and people are just staring at you. Nobody is minding their own business. It's like the only time in human civilization society where it is okay to get stared at by strangers, and then I feel like I'm getting shamed every time because I am in seat 34D and they're in seat like 2F and they're way cooler than me every single time. And then I feel bad. And then I get to the back of the plane and then there's nowhere left to put my check-on bag. So then I have to put it under the plane with the checked bags. So the thing that I was talking about earlier was all for nothing.
The window seat gets
so
the window,
sad.
The aisle gets the wiggle room, and the middle gets both of the armrests. Because that's fair. Also, look at what planes used to be. Ample leg room, more arm space.
That was a plane?
At least they give us the little iPad thingies in the back of the headrest.
I love the iPad.
The future is worse, but also a little better. For this one, I think there's kind of an obvious solution that I think you'll enjoy. Next up on things to be solved is fear. How can you do that, Andy?
What?
Claim such things.
What do you mean?
It's all about the turbulence. You know, I think, Andy, just get it together. It's just turbulence. But honestly, it's pretty reasonable to be fearful of turbulence. A lot of things have to go right for us to stay up. It's hard flying. As of today, the best thing I can do is browse brain rot content on TikTok, which puts me in a weird trance-like state. It's not a perfect solution, but it gets the job done.
Guys, I want you to comment down below. Do you get scared flying in planes? And do you get scared of the turbulence? I used to when I was younger, but then I started to tell myself that planes are actually like the most safe way to travel. And even if there is turbulence, it's really normal. It's kind of like hitting a speed bump whenever you're driving in a car. And most of the time, if you hit a speed bump when you're driving in a car, you don't start panicking. But there's something about being in a plane when you hit some turbulence that it's a lot more terrifying than hitting a speed bump in a car.
I believe there is a much better way to remove fear altogether for those of us who have a tough time with it. Adding to the pile of solutions we have, we are almost at a complete, perfect flight experience.
None of those
We are
puzzle
nearly
pieces
there.
fit together.
Just as a quick aside, this one's not really the worst thing in the world, and I don't want to be such a negative Nelly, but when I choose the sun chips as a snack on a flight and then I open it up, sometimes there's only,
S-tier
like, 3
chips.
in there. It's just not that many chips, and if you're watching this and you work at the Sun Chips factory, just like
Add more chips.
7 more chips.
Add more.
Okay, moving on. Now that we know all the problems, it's time for the solution that's 10,000 times better. There's nothing, because it's conceptual. Like, I gotta walk you through it. First,
okay.
security. Can I go home? No, I'm getting to the good part. Should we just add more lanes to make things go faster? No, that's too simple. And thinking small. Instead, we remove the security altogether. When you walk into the airport, you are immediately scanned with a powerful, possibly military-grade X-ray machine equipped to detect any possible contraband or illicit substance such as dangerous.
I see a couple issues.
Candles. Now there's no waiting in line. You just walk in and you're good. Incredible.
I mean, that's kind of how it was, like, you know, pre 9/11. You could just walk on, and then there was really not security. But then 9/11 happened.
Amazed by my own genius. Boarding. You're wondering, how could he possibly imagine a solution to this? There's only one person allowed at a time. You can't squeeze people past each other. It's too narrow. Ye have little faith. See, the problem is that the plane only has one door and one lane. This forces us to have narrow thinking, much like the narrow aisles in the plane. So we need to open our minds and open the plane from the side.
Oh,
If the plane was open to the side, then everybody could just board at once. I also updated the seating. If you take the cross-section of the front of the plane, it would look like this. But Andy, what does this do to the middle, window, and aisle seat conflict? It just eliminates it. If we just put a big old window right here, everybody then has a window seat.
Wait a
everybody has an
second.
aisle seat, and the middle seat just doesn't exist.
He might be onto something.
Sorry, I got a little carried.
That would be kind of weird, though, because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm sitting sideways in a vehicle that's going straight, I start to get like really bad like motion sickness. So I don't know if I would like that. I mean, I would want to test it, but I've done that in trains before where you sit sideways and you look out a window, and for some reason it just makes my brain make myself sick.
The immediate question that this raises is, does this fit the same amount of people as a normal plane? I don't know. I didn't check. I'm a visionary, not a scientist. Small minds would say. Impossible to solve, but you forget that here we have a simple cryo chamber. For a simple upcharge, select passengers can upgrade their seats from economy to cryo chamber.
Cryo chamber?
Flash frozen at a good enough success rate to be stored in the lower section of the plane
frozen?
until they are unfrozen upon arrival.
Are we talking about like in the movies, like in Interstellar and The Martian, where you go into space and then in order to make your body experience time a little bit quicker, you go into the cryo chamber and then you go to sleep and then you wake up and then it's like 100 years later? Is that what we're talking about here? Because I don't know if people are going to want to sign up for that, because I'm pretty sure if you get frozen alive, you might not wake up.
Can't be afraid if you're not conscious. And then one last thing for food and snacks. Pneumatic tubes that can deliver beverages and snacks on demand.
I like that. That's a fantastic idea.
We have changed air travel for the better forever. Thanks for watching.
Hello, buck-sized man.
We are now
Have you ever
tiny.
wondered what it's like to be eaten by a carnivorous plant?
Yes.
Well, let's find out. Number 5, pitcher plants.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that actually reminds me of the Pokemon, and I never really thought that this was a carnivorous plant. I thought that it was kind of like a fun-looking plant and that there was like honey on the inside, but apparently it's acid on the inside, and it looks like it's gonna melt down anything that goes inside of it. Poor little guy.
The pitcher plant gets its name from its pitcher-shaped leaves, and it uses these as deadly traps. Picture this. First, your insect brain is lured in by the sweet scent of nectar.
Oh, okay, so there is nectar on the
Once
inside.
you reach the top, you start slurping to your heart's content.
Oh,
but
no.
What you don't realize is the surface you're standing on has a waxy coating, making it extremely slippery. You take one step too close to the edge.
No.
You've fallen into the pitcher plant's diet.
And I'm pretty sure that the inside of the plant is also covered in this waxy coating, so there's no way for a bug that usually can like climb surfaces. I don't think it can climb its way out, and it can't fly because now it fell into this liquid and its wings are all covered in it. So it's pretty much trapped.
Digestive fluids. The walls are covered in wax too, making it impossible to climb out. And you slowly realize that there's no escape. As your arms grow tired, you begin to drown, and the plant starts digesting you alive.
That's so sad.
Do this, pitcher plant.
Well, that's a great question.
that poor
Pitcher
little
plants
guy.
And most other carnivorous plant species live in environments that provide insufficient nutrients. So they've adapted to get the essentials like nitrogen, phosphorus, and magnesium from your flesh instead.
I mean, as horrific as that sounds, that actually is super impressive that, most of the time you would think that a plant would get every piece of, resource that it needs from either the sun or the soil, but these plants decided, no, they're going to be quirky, they're going to be different, and they're going to eat things. They're going to eat things in order to survive, just like we do.
Please. Their diet mostly consists of bugs, but some pitchers are large enough to eat frogs and rats too.
A rat?
And so
It can
many
eat a
different
rat?
shapes and sizes.
See, look, it is a
This one
Pokemon.
Remind you of something?
I was going to say a
Toilet.
teacup,
The
but yeah, it is a
lid secretes
toilet.
An abundance of nectar that attracts small
Ew.
mammals like the tree shrew. And while it eats the nectar, the toilet bowl catches any post-lunch dumps. That's right, this pitcher plant.
Wait, so you're telling me that the rodent comes along, licks the side of the toilet, and then actually poops in the toilet, which gives nutrients to the plant? The plant is a poop eater.
Eats poop. A wholesome symbiotic relationship.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anybody, I guess.
My favorite pitcher plant species has got to be the cobra lily, and this is how it would eat you. You're lured in by the scent of nectar again, this time coming
Dang
from
it.
a leaf shaped like the forked tongue of a cobra. The
Okay.
concentration of nectar increases as you move further up. The plant's sneaky invitation to get you to climb inside, and eventually you end up inside a beautiful dome with light
Oh.
pouring in through many holes.
It looks
Having read your bit of
amazing.
nectar, you decide to leave, and there's so many exits to choose from. How convenient. But
Oh.
it's not an exit.
What is it?
Window. You try another one.
Oh no.
Strange. Oh well, you'll just leave the way you came in.
I don't think that's
Wait,
gonna work.
Which one was the entrance? Confusion sets.
Is that actually how it works, dude? It's literally like the back rooms. You go in, you think that you found an exit, and it's actually just a wall. And then you can't figure out where you came in. That is horrifying.
Then as all the exits you see turn out to be fakes. You don't notice, but this whole time you've been moving deeper and deeper inside the plant. Until...
Oh.
Now, unlike other pitcher plants, the cobra lily doesn't digest you with enzymes.
Say what now?
Gross midge larvae and bacteria start eating you alive, breaking you down into nutrient soup for the cobra lily to slurp up.
Are you
Now,
serious?
if you don't want to be eaten by my pet plant, you should boop the like button. It really helps me out a lot.
Is that what Petey the piranha plant is? I kind of thought that Petey the piranha plant was like a piranha plant, and not not what we just saw, which kind of did look like a snake, which is pretty incredible. But I honestly too, I only really thought that there was one carnivorous plant, and that is the Venus flytrap. When I was younger, I really wanted one as like a pet, because I thought it was so cool how like a plant could eat something like a fly. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Most plants you think like, oh, it's not going to do anything that bad. Maybe I'll get like poison ivy, but it's not going to try to eat me. Meanwhile, the Venus flytrap is like, ooh, I'm going to try to eat you.
Pitcher plants are just the first on this list, and there's 4 more leafy assassins to go. Number 4, Bladderworts.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Bladderworts grow in freshwater and wet soil environments. And on
Ooh,
the
they have
surface,
flowers.
They have cute little flowers. But
Lovely.
underneath is where the cold-blooded murder happens. One nice sunny day, you're swimming along living your best life. And then in the blink of an eye, you're suffocating.
What just happened? How did that just happen? What just happened?
In the Bladderworts trap.
Seriously?
Attached to the plant's underwater stems are these structures called bladders. But instead of holding pee, they act as trapdoors.
Oh.
Dude, First, water is expelled, creating negative pressure inside, and the trap is set. When you...
Okay, so that makes sense. So when it expels the water, it's basically creating a little suction tube, so when it opens up, the water will flood in, and then it will trap you inside, and then it probably closes real quick, and then you're trapped, and then you probably slowly get digested.
Came swimming along, you brushed past one of the bladder's trigger hairs,
No.
breaking the trapdoor seal.
You're dead.
This created a vacuum, sucking you in within milliseconds. The bladderwort's diet consists of nematodes, fish fry, and mosquito larvae, but it can eat larger things like tadpoles too. It
Oh
does
my
this
gosh.
by digesting you in stages. First, it dissolves your head into
Oh.
mush, then your body,
That's
and
not
your legs,
too bad.
until you've been completely
Okay.
turned into nutrient soup.
Lovely. Thanks,
Number
plants.
3, sticky leaf plant.
What the? Yo! Please tell me that's not how it actually happens.
The glistening drops of nectar covering their long, tendril-like leaves. But
I mean, it looks beautiful, it looks gorgeous, but it's deadly, dude. I swear, like the most gorgeous things in nature are always the most deadly. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to like pick up the dart frogs, but secretly the dart frogs are poisonous dart frogs. And that's when I learned that the more bright and colorful an animal or a plant is, usually the more deadly it is.
despite their beauty, these drops have a deadly function. The nectar is laced with a powerful glue, and as soon as you touch it, it's a wrap.
And
Literally,
you're
the plant
prisoned.
senses your struggle, so it starts constricting its tentacles inwards, bringing you into contact with as much stickiness as possible. The secretions coat your whole body, immobilizing your limbs and clogging your breathing holes, causing you to suffocate in a matter of minutes.
It literally
This whole time, the sundew has been secreting
grabs you, twists you up, and then suffocates you like a snake would. That is the most impressive plant I've ever seen.
digestive enzymes as well, slowly dissolving you until only a skeleton is left behind. Compared to some of the other plants though, being hugged to death actually sounds like a nice way to go. Another sticky leaf species is the butterwort, named after the buttery texture of its leaves. Works in pretty much the same way as the sundew, except its leaves are broad and flat, so there's more surface area for killing and eating.
Oh my
But not
gosh.
all carnivorous sticky leaf plants do the digesting.
I wonder if like people found these in nature and realized that this would make for like a great bug trap, because I mean there's a bunch of different bug traps. There's like the zapper trap, but a lot of the bug traps are like thin slices of paper that are super sticky. So as soon as a bug lands, it gets trapped there and then it can't leave, so it eventually just dies. I wonder if people found these plants, saw a bunch of dead bugs, and they were like, huh, well, let's just do that.
Rhododendron macrocephalum has
The
a
what?
mutualistic relationship with the mirrored bug. The plant does the trapping, and the mirrored bug stabs you with its face. And then it sucks out your nutrient soup, turning it into nutrient poop for
Okay.
the phytoabsorb. But
Cool.
something isn't adding up here. How does a plant that's highly adapted to catching bugs not catch this bug? It
That's
turns
what I was
out that
thinking.
The mirrored bug has an extremely thick coating of grease, completely protecting it from the sticky clutches of the plant.
So it's literally just a
Number two,
greased up bug.
Corkscrew plants.
Free cookies. Nope. Nice try.
So one day you're rolling around in the dirt. when
Of
you
course.
stumble
Just another
upon
Tuesday
a
for me.
tunnel. Where does it go? Is there treasure at the end?
No.
You've just arrived at the opening to one of the corkscrew plant's many corkscrew-shaped leaves. As you travel through the spiraling tunnel, you brush past these strange pointed hairs. They're arranged in a way that makes moving into the tunnel very easy, but moving out, almost
Oh,
impossible.
no.
Your only option now is to go deeper into the cave. And after what
I mean, this sounds like the premise of a horror movie. Imagine, like, you're just going about your day, and then you find this super cool looking tunnel that says treasure at the end, and you're thinking to yourself, huh, I probably shouldn't go in, but if I go in, at least, you know, I could get out if something goes wrong. But then you go in, and then you realize you're actually trapped there, and you gotta go further and further in, and you know it's gonna be bad, and you know that there's not treasure, but you keep going because where else are you gonna go?
feels like ages, you finally reach a nice chamber filled with digestive fluids. And
Oh.
painful.
Oh, you literally
The
jump in
corkscrew
yourself.
diet consists of protozoans mites, and annelids. And because of the sheer number of them hanging around in the dirt, the plant doesn't need to attract them. It just sits there and watches as the critters walk themselves into its stomach.
It's like whales in the ocean. All they have to do is just open their mouth, and then, you know, they're so big, they're bound to catch something.
Number 1, snap traps.
Yes, these are the ones that I like.
I bet you've all been waiting for this one. When
Yes.
you think of a carnivorous plant, the first thing that springs to your mind is the Venus flytrap. But contrary to their name, these plants don't actually eat that many flies. Their diet consists of roughly 1/3 ants, 1/3 spiders, and 1/3 miscellaneous critters.
Snails?
Only 5% are flying insects.
So how did it get its
Adaptations
name?
make the Venus flytrap an effective killer. First, the leaves' bright red color and sweet nectar smell tricks you into thinking you spotted a delicious
Why does it look like a
fruit.
big butt?
Second are these tiny sensory hairs all over its leaves. Nothing happens if you only touch a hair once, but if you touch it twice,
Dead.
as each trap can only operate 7-ish times before dying, this
What?
adaptation prevents wasting a snap on something like a raindrop or a fallen leaf. Third,
Okay.
each trap has these long lashes, which look like menacing teeth. Venus flytraps are quite picky with their food, as starting the digestive process takes a lot of energy. So smaller, unworthy prey can escape through the gaps in the lashes. I'm free. But bigger prey like you are trapped inside. Fourth,
Oh,
to make
great.
doubly sure that it's caught a big juicy meal, the plant waits until the sensory hairs are repeatedly triggered while closed, before it finally gets ready for dinner time. The trap clamps down even tighter,
What?
interlocking its lashes and forming an airtight seal.
I mean, that's scary, but it's also kind of awesome that a plant can do that. That's something that you think of like a lion doing, or like a bear, like shutting its mouth and then holding its prey there. You never think that a plant could do that.
Slowly die of suffocation, and the plant secretes digestive enzymes, dissolving you over the course of a few days. When it finally opens up, all that's left of you is a skeleton. It is how you can become a real cyborg right now.
Yes.
Step 1, have a body made of flesh and blood.
Say what
Step
now?
2, put the body through
Terrible accident.
Wait, I don't know if I want to sign up for this actually.
3, get smart engineers to experiment on you for research.
I'm starting to rethink this
But
idea.
you're still stuck on step 2 right now. So how about we take a look at some real-life examples of cybernetic upgrades you can get?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Great! We've got sense augmentation,
Okay.
telepathic communication,
Pretty cool.
and finally, bionic limbs.
Yo.
modification. Let's start at
Okay,
the top.
I'll take that.
Bionic Eyes.
That's a real thing.
In 1978, engineer William Dobell tried to create artificial vision.
Smart man, big
He
brain.
found that when you electrically stimulate the visual cortex, a splotch of light called a phosphene is perceived.
Okay, guys, I just need to back up for 2 seconds here. I just, like, scientists like this kind of scare me a little bit because how did he figure this out? He obviously had to do a lot of experimentation on actual human brains, which is kind of how we have all science today and biology. So, I mean, I get that you have to do it, but at the same time, you know, this guy's kind of crazy for figuring that out.
He then stabbed a bunch of little electrodes in and mapped video camera footage to them, creating a dot matrix of phosphenes. So now someone wearing the device could see the outline of shapes.
Okay, big
One
brain.
of his blind patients even regained enough vision to drive a car.
Wait, really?
I can finally see now. His work was showing signs of truly helping people. And then he
So I wonder if that's what they actually see. Like, they can't really see colors, or they can't really see too many shapes, but they can see little dots in the form of shapes, which I guess is kind of what you would need to just make out objects in the world. So, I mean, if it's either you're blind or you get this, I would rather have this.
He died. And everyone realized
he
that
died?
he barely documented anything. All that research straight down the toilet.
Seriously,
But since
bro?
then, there have been many advances in bionic eye technology. Devices like the Argus 2 now allow you to read large text.
Interesting. There you go. You got
Imagine if
it.
You could record and replay memories, or you could even stream other people's camera feeds and relive them for yourself.
Wait, did he just say that you could relive memories? That's an actual thing? I have never heard of that before. Comment down below if you have, but that seems like something out of, I don't know, like some sort of futuristic movie.
Maybe you could even zoom in.
Wait.
Enhance.
Ooh,
One day,
no.
I could even
Cursed.
hack into your eyes and play Doggo videos directly into your brain. Well, anyways, congratulations on your new Bionic Eyes. But did you know people nowadays are experimenting with non-human senses as well?
Huh? Like what?
Magnetic sense. This one's a weird modification, but you need all the help you can get, my friend. So you get a professional to cut
But, yeah,
your finger open and stick a itty bitty magnet inside.
Okay, guys, this is where they start to lose me, because I know that there are these cyborg superpower augmentations that you could technically add, but it, you gotta kind of like cut open parts of your body, and that's where I might have to draw the line. I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that, because that sounds a little scary. And also, for some of these things, you can't really reverse it, I don't think. Like, once it's there, it would be weird to go back to the way that you used to be, because you'll kind of get used to having this upgrade.
Now it wiggles whenever you're near a magnetic field. Seems a bit gimmicky,
Is that
but
useful?
It could be useful for an electrician. You can sense the shape and intensity of magnetic fields, and even distinguish between AC and DC voltages.
So this would be good for somebody that's like working around electricity and different magnetic fields all day, but you can't turn into Magneto. I wouldn't be able to actually control magnets with my big brain. So I don't think I would want this upgrade.
But there would be so many disadvantages. Like, how would you get an MRI done? Have you seen how strong their magnets are?
True.
So we need to scan you for cancer.
No.
Sir?
Nope. Sorry.
Or even worse, it just rips out of your skin. You couldn't get past airport security either. But at least you can pick up paper clips with your finger. But your implant would demagnetize over time, so eventually you're just left with a piece of trash. And a demagnetized magnet.
I actually did not know that magnets lose power over time. So I guess I did learn something today.
Looks good on you though. Just don't get too close to that machine.
Oh, and he's dead.
Neil Harbison was born with a rare form of complete colorblindness, and at the age of 22, he turned into the world's first Pikmin.
Say what now?
He has a cyborg antenna implanted into his skull, with a camera on one end and a sound vibration implant on the other. Now, he can hear colors through audible vibrations based on what the camera is.
Did he just say that he could hear colors? Okay, that's kind of cool, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I feel like that's completely different than like how most people see color. Obviously, we could see that red is red, orange is orange, yellow is yellow. But for somebody that's colorblind, it kind of just all looks very gray and there's no actual like sensation of color. But at the same time, that's not the worst thing in the world. But this person decided that they would hack into their brain and they could understand color through vibrations. Which is kind of strange. It kind of reminds me of like Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who can feel the vibrations in the ground, but instead of feeling people, she could just feel the colors. I guess that's a superpower? That's a really weird X-Men superpower. Like, imagine you were at X-Men University and somebody was like, I can hear the colors. I feel like they would just lock you up in prison.
Seeing. The cool part is that he can see infrared and ultraviolet light too.
That is kind of neat.
Sunscreen kind of day. But turns out having your brain constantly vibrating isn't fun. Make it stop, please. But the human brain is plastic. Not literally made of plastic, but able to adapt and learn. So even though there was this new sense forcing its way in, Neil's brain eventually accepted it.
And then
Just
it
like
worked?
How our brains aren't overwhelmed by our eyes constantly seeing and our ears constantly hearing.
That is true. I'm sure you guys already heard this fun fact that your eyes actually filter out your nose. Because if you really focus, you could see your nose. And technically your eyes can see your nose pretty much 24/7, but your brain blocks it out because it's not useful.
I'll give you this antenna. Doesn't really do anything, but it's cute.
Thanks, Doggo.
Sense Speed Round. North Sense is a little chest implant that jiggles every time you face north. Centero is a proximity sensor that jiggles when you're next to another Centero user. Seismic Sense is an implant that jiggles when the Earth jiggles. These cyborgs sure do a lot of jiggling, don't they? I guess we should sort that out now, huh?
Guys, I want you to comment down below right now if any of these superpower cybernetic upgrades would be something that you would want to get in the future. Currently right now, I don't think I want any of these.
Telepathic
Oh,
communication.
wait, I want this one.
Humans communicate like this.
Pretty much, yeah, that's what my brother
Imagine if
sounds
you
like.
could talk like this instead. Well, to do this, you need to read information from
He
one
got
brain
roasted.
and write it to other brains or computers. Neuralink is already working on this with their brain-computer implant, and they've recently completed their first human trial. The patient was paralyzed from the shoulders down after an accident, and
You see, that's where a lot of these cyborg upgrades make a lot of sense to me. For somebody that maybe has lost their senses, or somebody that was born without one of their senses, like somebody that was born blind or deaf, or that can't use, some or all of their limbs, having some sort of cyborg upgrade that can reconnect to parts of your brain or your body that aren't working like they should be, that part's cool. That is epic. To give, basically somebody that doesn't have what me and you have, or at least I'm assuming that you have access to these senses, if somebody that doesn't have it could then get access to them, that would basically be like a superpower for them, because their entire life would be changed, whereas the stuff that we usually do on a day-to-day basis is kind of just normal to us, when in reality, if you take it away, it turns into a superpower, which is kind of neat.
now he can use his mind to play RuneScape. The
Epic.
chip has a bunch of electrode threads which can read different signals from your brain. Their software then maps these signals to cursor movements on a screen. And you could use this technology to map a brain to any computer interface, like a Jaeger. With this implant, you can now control this Roomba. Here you go, buddy.
Awesome. Vacuum time. Yes.
Right now, brain-to-brain communication is pretty difficult, because seizures. But
Oh.
a simpler option would be to read a message
Kind of curious, how did they learn that? Did somebody get a seizure?
from one brain and use a computer to transmit it to an ear implant. You could basically have your own private radio channels in your head. Reading information from brains could be a bit scary, though. I don't want people to know my intrusive thoughts. Neil the Pikmin.
I know this isn't exactly what we're talking about here, but it would be so cool if there was some sort of Neuralink brain device that you could wear, pretty much 24/7, but ideally you could wear it only at night when you're dreaming, and then it would be able to show you a movie of what you dreamed about, and that would actually be kind of scary because sometimes I have nightmares, but that would be kind of cool, and I think I would use that. But also, too, I don't think I would show anybody what I dreamed of, but it would be cool to see.
His jiggly cyborg buddy achieved a different form of cyborg communication with Bluetooth. And I mean a literal Bluetooth. When they were in
what?
close range, they could communicate in Morse code by
Oh,
tapping their teeth. What happens when they're eating, though?
Imagine you go up to somebody and literally there's just two people and they're just like this. Not saying any words whatsoever. They're just... I don't know if that's a superpower. That's kind of weird.
How could you say that? Anyways, that's communication sorted. Wait, where'd he go?
Oh, he's trying to
I
vacuum.
guess it's time to get you some real legs now. Bionic Limbs. At the age of 17, rock climber Hugh Herr had both his legs amputated
Oh,
due to
no.
frostbite. Doctors told him he would never climb again, but instead of giving up, he turned his clunky prosthetic legs into ones that could outperform real human limbs. Spiked feet for climbing vertical ice walls.
Okay, that's just
Extendable
awesome.
legs for reaching far footholds, and narrow-tipped feet that could slip into cracks way too thin for regular feet. His legs also didn't get
What?
tired while climbing anymore, because he didn't have any. Now, he finds himself as the director of biomechatronics at MIT.
Okay, that is the coolest origin story I have ever heard of. This guy literally lost both of his legs, and instead of being I guess I'll just use the normal prosthetic legs, he decided that he was going to turn into Iron Man, pretty much. He turned into Tony Stark and then started developing even better legs. This guy is the best. He is literally the best person ever.
Where he designed special brain-controlled bionic legs.
Now that's
Microprocessors
cool.
constantly adjust the stiffness of his joints to mimic how humans naturally walk. Look at how smoothly he moves. He hopes to end disability in humans one day, but there's a few major problems to solve first. One is that it's really hard to interface with human skin. It's hairy, oily, sweaty, and it chafes and cuts easily.
That is true. I have watched a few videos about like bionic limbs, and supposedly it is very difficult to get your body to accept the new robot piece that you want to be accepted by the body. So for example, like prosthetic arms or prosthetic legs or prosthetic anything really, even like fingers, it's like practically impossible to link everything together with your actual like muscles and tendons and like the little microscopic connections that happen. It's so difficult to get your body to accept a robot, since most of your body like doesn't want anything that's foreign in your body, which, sounds weird, but that's just how it is. Your body's like, ooh, that's not supposed to be there. And then it'll try its best to get rid of it. So it's going to be interesting in the future to see how people counteract that so that our bodies accept like pretty much robots into our internal system.
You can't just duct tape a prosthetic on and call it a day. Hugh's research is developing synthetic skin to tackle this problem.
What?
It can change its shape and stiffness under electrostatic forces. Kinda like how the glider cape from The Dark Knight
Oh,
turns
yeah.
from floppy to stiff when you run a current through it. So the synthetic skin is soft and stretchy on your squishy parts and stiffer where there's solid bone surface underneath. Sounds pretty comfy. But a close problem that's often overlooked is sweat. Since prosthetics basically surround amputated limbs like a shoe, sweat doesn't evaporate. So some sports prosthetics include drain holes.
Say what?
Another interfacing option
I never thought about that.
Osseointegration, which involves implanting titanium directly into the bone, and then you can swap out whatever attachment you want. But the biggest problem is that bionic limbs don't really feel like they're a part of you. Humans have a sense called proprioception, which is basically your body's spatial awareness. For example, if you close your eyes, you're still able to touch the tip of your nose with your finger. The same can't be said for bionic limbs just yet. But research is currently being done to solve this, and soon you could pick any bionic limb you want, and it would feel like a part of you.
Okay, guys, comment down below what like bionic limb or what bionic attachment would you want to have? I personally think that it would be so cool if I could have like Doc Ock's giant tentacle robot arms, and then you could climb anything. You could climb buildings. They could even like maybe have the ends rotate really fast, and then you could turn into a drone that flies. The possibilities are endless.
Bionic Limbs Speed Round. Jason Barnes is a drummer with a bionic arm attachment with 2 drumsticks.
Okay, that's
allowing
epic.
him to play rhythms no other human can play. Jesse Sullivan is one of the world's first cyborgs who had a bionic arm that could be controlled through nerve grafts in his chest.
That is
This dude
insanely
has a
cool.
USB in his finger.
Okay, that doesn't make any
And
sense.
as a company
That man better have like a bajillion Bitcoin on there, because if not, why would you ever do that?
called Psionic that makes prosthetic arms that can punch through things. And
Okay.
now, with a few little adjustments, all finished.
Oh,
look
yo. Oh, God.
Ah, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, he's communicating with the Bluetooth. I think he maybe turned into a supervillain.
Number 7. Extra limbs.
Oh, that's a real
Polymorphia is
thing?
a rare birth defect in which an affected individual is born with more than the usual amount of limbs.
I did not need to see that.
In most cases, the extra limb is usually shrunken or deformed in some way and of not much use.
So you're telling me that I can't be born as 4 arms from Ben 10? That's not possible.
But one case in India showed otherwise. Deepak Paswan was a boy from India with 1 head, 4 arms, and 4 legs. The limbs were relatively fully formed and also appeared fully functional.
Okay, guys, I actually remember hearing about this, and apparently people in India actually thought that this guy was a literal god. They thought that, like, because he had these extra limbs, that he was the chosen one from one of the Indian gods, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I might believe that too if I actually saw this person, because that's insane that somebody could be born with double the amount of limbs that they should actually have. Like, imagine having 4 legs. What would you even do? Would you be twice as fast?
Imagine the power you would wield with 4 hands at the foosball table.
True.
Undefeatable.
You could 2v1
Imagine
anybody.
VR with 4 legs. In the Hindu religion, gods are often depicted with numerous limbs. So as news spread of the quote-unquote Octoboy, pilgrims soon...
Okay, I don't know if I would want that name, Octoboy. That sounds like such a weird X-Men superhero that is not that powerful. I would want to be like Forearm sounds pretty powerful, or like Super Limbo, or Four Legs.
Traveled from
those are bad.
all over India to worship him as an incarnation of their gods. Until scientists figure out that the extra limbs were actually from a parasitic twin that hadn't developed properly in the womb and had somehow fused with him. Turns out he also didn't actually have control over the extra limbs either. They were just kind of glitching every now and then. So to improve Deepak's quality of life, the extra limbs were cut off. And ever since, he's been able to live a relatively normal life.
Okay, that sounds horrible, guys. It started out amazing, where people were worshiping him, and he had these extra limbs, and he was super good at Dance Dance Revolution. But it turned south very quickly, and it turns out that he no longer has the extra limbs. So they took away his superpowers.
Much to the dismay of the pilgrims. Number 6. Super Memory. Hypothymestic syndrome is a condition that allows people...
Why does that sound so painful?
...to remember abnormally large numbers of life experiences.
Big brain!
Sounds like a cheat code to life, right? You'd be the world's most famous walking encyclopedia and win millions of dollars in popular trivia game shows.
That is true, guys. You would remember everything. You would remember everything from school, everything that you ever read, every random fact, every person that you ever met, which sounds like a good thing, but in reality... I don't know. It seems like it could be very, very sad as well, because you would remember not only every good thing that happened to you, but also you would remember all of the bad things. Or like, let's say you had like a really bad injury, or you went through something horrible, like losing a family member. You would remember that over and over and over again, like it just happened. And the best thing is about time is that over time, you kind of forget all of the bad things. Or at least they don't really feel like they happened that recently. But with something like this, where you remember everything like it just happened, I don't know. That could be pretty sad, and I don't know if I would want this superpower.
But in reality, hypothysiacs cannot choose what memories are permanently stored in their brains.
Oh, that's even worse.
Information like memorizing schoolwork would be treated as trivial. So
really?
Unfortunately, they won't be doing well on any tests at school.
But what do they actually remember?
What they are great at is remembering that one time they let a big one rip in the school cafeteria.
That's so sad.
Remembering these highly personal events can often be very embarrassing or traumatic. But could you imagine dating a hypothysiac? Hey babe, I'm going to the store to get some milk. Wait! Are you going to leave me like Mark did on the 3rd of January 1984?
Oh no!
Babe, no. How about like Peter did on the 8th of April 1991? No, what are you talking about? Oh, okay then. Don't forget to buy the low-fat milk this time. Oh yeah, sure, honey. Unlike the time you forgot it on
Oh my gosh. Wait, that would actually be horrible. Like literally living with somebody that can remember every bad thing that you've ever done to them. That would be insane because they could just tell you about it 24/7.
97 and the 13th of November 1999 and the 16th of June 2002.
Bye. See you later, butthead.
So, yeah, the vast majority of hypothysiacs find it really difficult to sustain long committed relationships, leading to a lack of social connections.
What's up with the
and
poop?
Loneliness. Number 5. Exoskeleton Armor.
What?
Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva.
Okay, why do all of these superpowers have such, like, horrible sounding names? Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. That sounds so painful, and maybe it actually is.
Also known as Stoneman Syndrome, is an extremely rare genetic condition that allows some individuals to rapidly heal themselves when damaged.
Oh, so real-life Wolverine.
Imagine a person suffers a surface injury. Instead of replacing the skin tissue with more skin tissue, the body replaces it with bone instead.
Wait a second. How does that even work? You're telling me that they could literally, instead of having my normal skin, that I could have bone as skin, which sounds cool at first, don't get me wrong, guys, but like that, I don't know. Like your bones are supposed to be under your skin for a reason, right? The fact that this person maybe has a bone that's replacing the skin that they lost, or like imagine just getting like a simple scratch, and then instead of your skin repairing it, you have like little bone fragments. So over time, as you get injured and then as bad things happen to you, you would eventually turn into the Thing from Fantastic Four, which does not sound very fantastic at all.
This process is called ossification. Can you imagine what would happen if you injured all your skin?
Oh.
You'd form an exoskeleton-like layer of armor made of pure bone.
I mean, it sounds pretty epic.
Literally be a superhuman. But in depressing reality, this disorder is almost 100% fatal.
Oh.
The issue is that the body ossifies all damaged tissue, which can make joints stiff and be dangerous to internal organs.
See, guys, this is what I was saying, that you have your skin for a reason, and the bones are where they're at for a reason. Like, the fact that we could have bones everywhere sounds really cool, but at the same time, yeah, like this guy just said, if you even have, like, your organs injured, they're not going to repair themselves like they should. So let's say you have, like, I don't know, something hits your lung, or something injures your stomach, or if you even need surgery, like, you're not going to have normal tissue or skin replace that. It's going to be hard bone, which is not good.
You injure your knee, ossify.
Can't
work. You injure your eyelid, ossify.
Oh my god.
Any tiny injury would potentially become devastating. If you strain your voice, you could permanently lose it.
Oh my gosh.
If you damage your airways, bony growth would restrict your breathing.
So if you have this, you basically have to live your entire life like in a box where you can't get hurt. Nothing bad can happen to you. You got to make sure that you don't cough too hard or that you like slip and fall and hurt yourself, because if you do, even the smallest little thing could cause this ossification that he's talking about, and then you don't know how that's going to affect your entire system.
Even if you don't injure yourself, your body is constantly breaking down and repairing itself.
Oh yeah,
so
true.
You're basically doomed. You'd be slowly and inevitably turning into a bone statue.
That doesn't sound like a superpower.
The absolute worst part is there's almost no way this can be medically solved at the moment.
Wow.
As surgical removal of ossified tissue causes the body to repair the area with additional bone.
That is crazy.
Leading to a fatal catch-22.
I'm just curious as to why the body would do that, right? Like, why would why would your body system try to replace like what is injured with bone? It just doesn't seem to make any sense.
It's a disorder that could in theory be an awesome superpower, but in reality, it's much more like a living nightmare.
Sad thing.
Number 4, impervious to pain.
Ooh, guys, we checked this out in a previous episode, and I think a lot of you guys were commenting that this might be one of like the weirdest and worst superpowers, because on the surface, it sounds great. Like that I won't feel pain ever. Obviously, nobody likes to feel pain, but pain is actually super useful just for daily events. You make sure that you don't touch something that's hot, because then you pull away from it because it hurt. Or if like something sharp, you know, ooh, I probably shouldn't touch that. And it's your body's way of letting you know that that is like a dangerous thing that could potentially kill you or seriously harm you. So pain, even though it kind of sucks, is kind of a good thing.
Congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP, is a rare condition where an individual cannot feel pain.
Oh!
Are you okay? Huh? What do you mean? An estimated 1 in every 25,000 people are diagnosed with this condition, and in most cases,
that's a lot.
The person has actually never experienced pain before. This condition is caused by a mutation to the PRDM12 gene, which is important for the development of pain-sensing nerve cells.
I'm actually kind of curious too. So he just said it's pain-sensing nerve cells, but does that mean that like, I don't know, do you feel things differently? Like, do you feel like, you know, somebody touching your arm? Would that be different? Because, you know, that's not painful. But at the same time, like if you can't feel pain, are there other things that you can't feel as well? Which if that's the case, that would also kind of stink.
Affected individuals have been recorded to register touch, but the pain circuitry is completely cut off.
Oh, okay. So that answers my question.
CIP individuals are still susceptible to emotional pain. Physical and emotional pain are both processed by the same part of your brain, so this was surprising to me. But it's more of an issue with the physical sensory input as opposed to pain processing in the brain. This would be a pretty neat power to have for a super soldier though. Someone you could just throw into the middle of the battlefield who doesn't care if they get shot. There's actually a village in northern Sweden called Vitangi, where there's an abnormally high frequency of individuals with CIP. We might need to watch out for them in the near future.
Okay, that kind of makes sense to me. Somebody that doesn't really feel pain, or maybe some people also have like a mild form of CIP where they don't feel pain as badly as other people, so they would make really good super soldiers.
In reality, this condition is extremely dangerous to the affected individual because pain is vital for survival. Individuals with CIP often die during childhood because fatal injuries just go unnoticed. It is tragically very common for people to burn to death without even knowing.
Wow. Okay, that part is insane. The fact that a young kid might not realize that they are on fire or that fire is even bad. So out of everything that we've seen today, that is probably the worst.
Number 3, Indestructible Bones.
Okay, this one I could get behind.
Trichodento-osseous syndrome is a rare condition affecting no more than a couple thousand people worldwide. It leads to people having bones that are so dense that they've been known to break baseball bats and even withstand car crashes.
Okay, but how?
Mutation in the DLX3 gene causes bone density in the affected individual to increase significantly. It reminds me a lot of Wolverine's skeleton.
Oh yeah, Wolverine has like the adamantium armor that they inputted into his already super powered body.
If you combine this disorder with the regeneration from Stone Man syndrome, minus the ossification and increased likelihood of death, you're basically Wolverine.
Yeah, pretty much.
However, there are several major drawbacks. These individuals are cursed with having extremely weak teeth that break easily and painfully.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me because your teeth are, I don't know, it seems like your teeth are very similar to your bones. So why would your teeth be not as strong when your bones are like basically titanium steel? That doesn't make any sense.
End up falling out completely in some cases.
What?
They have brittle nails and dry, curly, and flaky hair as well.
Okay, so whatever this mutation is, it's affecting the keratin in your body because that's what your nails are made of, that's what your teeth are made out of, and I believe that's also what your hair is made out of, which is kind of crazy that your fingernails and your hair are made out of the same stuff.
Research into TDO is prevalent right now, as it may hold the key to curing osteoporosis, which is the gradual weakening of skeletal structures many people developed in their old age. This would make a huge difference in improving their quality of life, as breaking bones from bad falls is incredibly
my hip!
common for
Oh no,
elderly,
I've fallen!
in many cases, life-threatening.
Oh, R.I.P.
Number 2, super strength.
This is an actual disorder?
Myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy is a rare condition that literally gives you super strength.
I thought he was going to talk about gigantism, which is the disorder where people literally do not stop growing. And the bigger you are, usually the stronger you also are.
Affected individuals have over twice the usual muscle mass of an average human. And they also have increased muscular strength, all without going to the gym or lifting weights to maintain.
It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And just being jacked.
I'm
this
in.
Condition
Sign me
is
up.
caused by a mutation in the MSTN gene, which is usually responsible for limiting muscle growth to prevent us from growing too large. But in these super strength individuals, it doesn't work as a limiter. A real-life case of this is Liam Hoekstra from the United States. Doctors recorded that he had prominent muscle development in his legs as an infant. Like, bro came out of the womb jacked. Yeah, he never skipped leg day in there. Bro could do a pull-up at 8 months old, had a six-pack when he was just 3 years old, and could lift 3-kilogram dumbbells with his arms fully extended at just 3 years old as well.
Okay, guys, I mean, right now, this sounds incredibly cool, but I'm just waiting for the drawback. There has to be something bad about this.
Well, do you understand how crazy that is? Bro probably only weighed 3 kgs at the time. To add icing on the cake, there are no known medical complications to this condition.
What?
All those benefits and not a single drawback has been
Are you kidding me?
That is just plain unfair.
Okay, that is the definition of a superpower. Everything else in this video, kinda super lame because there's bad stuff that happens. Meanwhile, this 3-month-old baby is doing backflips and push-ups like it's nothing.
And that's why it gets the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1, fearlessness.
That's a thing? There's people that don't have fear?
Cernick is a man from the UK who was diagnosed with Cushing's syndrome, where his body produced too much cortisol, which caused him to have severe, life-threatening weight gain and high blood pressure.
Okay, this sounds really bad.
After numerous brain surgeries and complications, in a final surgical operation, his adrenal glands were removed from his body.
Okay.
This gruesome operation required removing one of his ribs,
Oh.
and it was extremely painful. Thankfully, his Cushing syndrome was cured as a result, but it came with a price.
So I'm pretty sure the adrenal gland is what gives you adrenaline, which is caused usually by something that is scary, something that like needs to get your body going so that you can get away from whatever the scary situation is.
When Geordie woke up in the hospital bed, he was on life support. He had numerous tubes coming out of him, and the doctors solemnly told him that there had been complications.
About that.
He had developed pneumonia and then meningitis, which is a potentially fatal infection of the brain. But surprisingly, upon receiving the bad news, Geordie had no response. He didn't feel anything. Among the many functions of the adrenal glands, one of them is influencing your body's stress response, also known as fight or flight, namely through the hormone adrenaline. Turns out, due to the removal of his adrenal glands, the part of Geordie's brain that controlled fear had been turned off. So now he lives a life of zero fear. Can you imagine that? Not feeling the nervous pit in your stomach before an important test? Or not feeling shy and flustered when asking a girl out? Not having...
Well, honestly, guys, okay, me thinking about this right now, fear is one thing, right? But having confidence is a different thing. So it seems like he's kind of in the middle, where I guess maybe he could be confident, but like, it seems like he might just be neutral 24/7. Like, he's not scared, but he's also not like super excited anymore because he can't have the adrenaline in his body. So it kind of seems good, but also kind of bad.
Having a second thought when taking a risk? You'd be an absolute giga-chad, especially when cases of anxiety and paranoia are increasing in our society right now.
That is true.
Fearlessness would drastically change the course of your life. But just like many of the other disorders on this list, there's a catch. Fear is a fundamental survival instinct.
That is true.
The absence of it could be very dangerous.
This is kind of like the people from earlier that can't feel pain. Pain is something that over time we've gotten because it keeps us alive. Same thing with fear. Fear is like, let's say you are a caveman in a cave and a bear is coming. You're gonna get scared. If you're not scared of the bear, you're dead.
But even worse than that, Geordie lost something much more important after his
ribs?
surgery. He lost the ability to feel excited for
See? That's what I was
feel
saying.
suspense.
I'm
and
big
in some
brain.
cases, even joy.
Yeah, that's
It
pretty
took away
sad.
his ability to experience life.
Humans have adapted to the most extreme environments on Earth over thousands of generations. And then there's you. Me? And your only adaptation is this pudgy tubby.
Hey!
Let's see how you compare against real superhumans from extreme environments.
Don't talk about my
Number
tummy!
7, superhumans of the deep sea.
What?
First, we're heading to the islands of Southeast Asia. And remember, the deep sea is very dangerous for regular people like you.
That is true. I don't think I could hold my breath for more than 60 seconds. Comment down below how long you guys can hold your breath.
Let's see how long you last. The moment your face hits the cold water, your diving reflex kicks in. Your heart rate slows by up to 25% to save energy. Your
Really?
blood vessels constrict, redirecting blood to vital organs, and
What?
your spleen acts as a biological scuba tank, pumping
Thanks,
extra
spleen!
oxygen-rich blood cells into your bloodstream.
I
But
love you,
despite all
spleen!
these amazing adaptations, you're dead.
Oh!
2 minutes. Not
Oops.
bad, but not even close to the superhumans of the sea, the Summer Bajau people, who are the closest we have to Aquaman.
I've actually watched a video about these guys already, and they are pretty much superhumans. I'm pretty sure these guys can hold their breath for up to 15 to 20 minutes at a time. They're super quick and agile in the water, and they're fishermen, which kind of makes sense because their entire job is being underwater to catch fish to either feed their family or sell in local markets.
They live a hunter-gatherer lifestyle and have been reported to be able to hold their breath underwater for over 10 minutes at
That's
a time.
insane!
Spending a total of almost 8 hours a day submerged underwater. They have
Their
extremely
office is
low
the
body
ocean.
fat, making them negatively buoyant, allowing them to run effortlessly across the seabed to hunt fish. You, on the other hand, are extremely positively buoyant.
No, I would just float
As you go deeper
like a
underwater,
buoy.
pressure increases significantly, and diving deep too quickly can cause your eardrums to tear. Regular divers prevent
That is true. Any single time that I drop below like 8 feet in any sort of pool or the ocean or like a lake or whatever it is, my ears feel like they're about to explode. So how do these guys not have that happen?
this by gently blowing through their ears to equalize pressure. But the summer bajows say, who needs eardrums?
Wait, what? They don't have
They
eardrums?
purposely obliterate their eardrums at a young age, so they basically have no ear pressure problems.
What?
Only ear hearing problems. When you're underwater for too long, carbon
So they can't
dioxide
hear.
levels in your blood begin to
What?
rise. This triggers the body's panic reflex, causing you to take a fresh breath of water. The
Ew.
summer bajow, however, have a gene mutation that suppresses this reflex, allowing them to stay calm underwater for longer. Other
So literally, they not only have trained their bodies, but part of their DNA has adapted to this pretty intense lifestyle, which is crazy to think about because they've probably been doing this for generation after generation, and it seems like it's just going to keep getting better and better. Like the more that these people sort of do this and have kids with, you know, people in the culture, they'll just be able to hold their breath longer, swim better, until eventually, let's say if we fast forward like thousands of years, they might actually start to like grow fins or have like fish tails or even start to grow gills. That would be cool.
genetic mutations they have include a gene which provides increased constriction of their blood vessels,
Epic.
and one which gives them a spleen that's 50% larger than regular humans.
Okay, what?
Anyways, let's get
They're
out of
so
here,
much
'cause we
cooler
got
than me.
6 more superhumans to learn about. Number 6, superhumans of the jungle. Welcome
Jungle
to the
superhuman.
African rainforest in the Congo Basin, where everything wants to either bite you, sting you, infect you, or eat you.
Yeah, there's basically no reason that humans should be able to live in the rainforest because of that. All of the things are trying to kill you.
The thick rainforest canopy above blocks most sunlight, making it incredibly easy to get lost.
I can't
The air
see.
is hot and very humid, to the point where your sweat can't even evaporate to cool you down. So instead, you continue to heat up, causing you to sweat some more, heat up, sweat, heat
Oh,
up,
God.
sweat, die of dehydration.
Is that how
But don't
what?
worry, the
That's how it works?
superhumans of the rainforest
It's just like the SpongeBob where he's in Sandy Cheek's dome and he needs water, but he doesn't want to tell anybody that he actually does need water.
are here to save the day.
Hello. Hi. Why are you so tiny?
Standing
What
at
the?
a mighty 4 feet and 11 inches tall, the African pygmies make their small stature
What?
their superpower. Being this small allows the pygmies to generate less heat and sweat, reducing the chance of dehydration, while also making it easier to navigate the dense undergrowth.
That is so
In an
cool.
environment where food is scarce, a compact body requires less resources to survive. But sometimes the pygmies stumble upon the ultimate jackpot, a beehive filled with delicious honey. But
Wait,
there's
can they
catch.
climb trees?
It's 40 meters up a tree. Armed with
40
nothing but an
meters?
axe and a loop of tree vine,
No.
the pygmies fearlessly scale
What?
the tree, hacking footholds in as they go. And
Guys, the honey cannot be that good. Seriously, I've had honey. There is nothing in my mind that makes me want to do this. Even though honey is good, it's not let's climb a 40-meter tree good. But, I mean, I guess they kind of have to.
after battling a bunch of bees, they finally secure the goods.
Food, finally.
On to the next location.
No, wait.
Oh yeah, and like the video, it's for Number 5,
What?
superhumans of the ice. We're
Vikings!
zooming all the way out to the Arctic, where the warmest days are 10 degrees Celsius and the coldest days are minus 40 degrees Celsius. When
Okay, humans are the most incredible creatures of all time. How are they able to survive in that sort of environment? I thought nobody lived in the North Pole other than Santa.
your body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius, you start to experience hypothermia. First comes the shivering, and your blood vessels constrict to keep vital organs warm. But this causes your extremities to become too cold, making them freeze and die due to frostbite. At this point, your brain has probably started to fail too, causing confusion, memory loss, and maybe even some fun hallucinations. Some people
Oh,
get so delirious
not
that
good.
they actually strip naked,
What
which
the-
sure helps them keep warm.
I mean, that's how you know you've lost your mind in the Arctic Circle, is when you start taking off clothes instead of putting on clothes and building a fire and booking a plane ticket back to Hawaii.
That's where the superhumans of the ice come in. Do you know it, people? Their short, stocky build minimizes surface area, helping them retain more heat. They also have more blood rushing through their fingers and toes, reducing the chance of frostbite freezing them off. By consuming fatty meat from seals and fish, they build up an insulating layer of fat. But while most people primarily have white fat, the Inuit people have an abundance of brown fat, which is packed with specialized mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, turning them into a human furnace. Because of all these adaptations, the Inuit people can maintain a metabolic rate of up to 200% higher than an average person.
So basically what you're saying, if me or anybody watching, unless you're an Inuit, decides that they want to go to the North Pole, they are going to freeze very, very quickly. Even if we had like the perfect gear and materials, eventually we're just not going to be able to last those extreme conditions. Meanwhile, the Inuit people have actual blubber on their body. That is insanely cool.
Meaning they're able to maintain a toasty core temperature without even needing to shiver. But don't worry, the next location will definitely warm you up. Number 4, superhumans of the desert.
Oh my gosh,
we're on the opposite side of the temperature spectrum, the scorching hot African desert. And you're giving us a lovely demonstration of hyperthermia in action. First comes the heat exhaustion, heavy sweating, rapid breathing, and your pulse racing. Your blood vessels also dilate, trying desperately to dump heat through your skin. But eventually you progress to heat stroke, where you become so dehydrated that you stop sweating entirely.
I'm kind of curious because a lot of these superhuman abilities are basically just the result of, years and years of evolution of people being stuck in these extreme environments so that their body has to adapt, which is one of our best traits as humans, is that we're very adaptable to different environments. But how long did it take? Because you think, like, humans have been around for, 50 to 300,000 years, but how long did some of these adaptations take to actually develop and form in some of these different groups of humans? Did it take a couple hundred years? Did it take thousands? And what is it going to look like in a couple hundred or 1,000 years? You would think it's just going to get more and more extreme until maybe eventually we have like different subspecies of humans that are in these different environments.
Your organs start to fail and your brain starts shutting down, leading to confusion, aggression, seizures, and finally unconsciousness.
That sounds like a fun Tuesday night.
Extreme conditions are no problem for the superhumans of the desert. The Maasai tribe.
Hello.
They average around 6 feet tall and have longer, skinnier limbs that help with better heat dissipation through more surface area.
For those of you guys that did not know, I think the average height for males around the world is like 5'8". So these guys, on average, are 6 inches taller.
They also have a crazy diet of raw meat, raw milk, and raw blood from cows, which helps them maintain their extremely low body fat and naturally lower body temperature. And their dark skin provides stronger protection against sunburn. All of these adaptations help them sweat and pee less than normal people to conserve water. And one
that makes
more
sense.
superpower is that these guys can jump super high.
What the?
Looking a bit
Are they flying?
Aren't you? Well, let's get you something to drink. Number 3, superhumans of poison.
Okay,
Next, we
what
find
are
ourselves
we
in the
talking
Andes
about?
Mountains at Uru Lake in Bolivia, which is
Okay, I kind of want to guess this one, but I honestly don't know. What would the superhuman of poison be? My first thought is that there's a group of people that, in order to survive in this certain area, they have to eat things that are just naturally poisonous, like poison berries or poison roots, or stuff like that, where most people would get sick and maybe die from some of that sort of stuff. Or maybe it's even like the animals are poisonous. There's like poisonous snakes or poisonous insects that over time, their body is just more immune and has more anti-venom naturally in their body compared to you and I. That's the only 2 things I can think of.
Is known for being full of toxic arsenic.
Hey, what?
Arsenic naturally occurs in
I was so
volcanic
wrong.
rock, but rain and mining operations release significant amounts of it into the surrounding rivers and lakes.
Oh,
and
no.
now that toxic arsenic is in you. First, your
pretty
body
bad.
tries to get rid of the toxins through both exits.
Oh.
Then comes the numbness, abdominal pain, and muscle cramps. With long-term exposure, your skin color changes, and lesions start popping up on your
That
skin.
seems
You
terrible.
start developing hard patches in your palms and the soles of your feet, and not to mention the increased risk of cancer, diabetes, and heart problems too.
So wait, you're not gonna tell me that there's a group of people that have been consuming this poison water and now they're immune? Is that possible?
Why isn't she dying yet? Well, that's because over thousands of years, the Uru people have developed the genetic cheat code for poison resistance.
Thousands
the
of years.
AS3MP gene helps detoxify arsenic, allowing the Uru people to pee it out faster. So
Wow.
it spends less time in their body, meaning less harmful effects on their health. But rising pollution levels, frequent drying up of the lakes, and long-term exposure to arsenic have unfortunately forced many Uru people to abandon their homes in recent times.
Oh, that's
but I
terrible.
Hope you're all hydrated now, because we're off to even higher mountains.
Wait, where?
Number 2, superhumans of the mountains. We're at Mount Everest Base Camp, 5,000 meters above sea level.
Wait a second, people live on Mount Everest? I know that thousands of people go and they go to the top and they're like, yay, I did it. I conquered planet Earth. And then they go back down, but people live there? How do they live there? There's like no oxygen up there. Yeah, see, he's
I guess
dying.
That makes sense, because at elevations of just 2,500 meters, many people start experiencing altitude sickness. The air up here is thin, and has way less oxygen than your body is used to, which leads to headaches, dizziness, and vomiting. And in extreme cases, fluid can build up in your lungs and brain, causing
I remember I was in like Colorado in Denver, which is a mile above sea level, which is a lot higher than a lot of other cities. And I remember feeling like kind of dizzy. And if I went on like a little walk, I felt out of breath a lot faster compared to where I usually live. So I can't even imagine being even higher than that.
shortness of breath, severe confusion, and even death. Even being physically fit won't save you up here. Not that that's relevant in your case.
Why was he
but there
cheeked
have
up?
been instances where highly trained mountaineers have died from altitude sickness. The real superhumans are the ones that accompany
That's why I
these
don't do it.
mountaineers. The Sherpa. They're able
Get
to
up,
pull
sir.
in more oxygen than the average person due to their naturally larger lung capacity and faster breathing. A gene
Kirby!
mutation also allows them to use this oxygen more efficiently, giving them superior stamina. It's for these
Wow.
reasons that the Sherpas are a necessity for people looking to summit Mount Everest. They lead the climbs, carry heavy loads, and provide first aid, all
So these guys are like legit superhumans. I know that that's entirely what the video is about, but like that is insanely cool. Imagine you're just with some dude trying to climb Mount Everest and like you're struggling to even breathe and he's like jogging up the mountain carrying all of your stuff. I would feel so embarrassed.
while your sorry butt is struggling to survive. But we made it though. Wow, look at that view.
Epic.
That's where we're going next.
Where is that space? Are we about to go
Number
into
one,
space?
superhumans of space.
I knew it.
Our final destination, the International Space Station.
Yeah, not many people have been in the International Space Station. I think that it's honestly under 50 people in all of humanity have ever been to the International Space Station because A, it's tiny, B, you need to be like a certain type of person in order to even survive up there in the first place, and C, when you're up there, there's such weird conditions, such as no gravity, so your body literally doesn't know what to do, and your muscles start to atrophy, which means like they just completely start to eat away at themselves. You're not using all of your body as much, so your entire body starts to like shrivel up like a raisin.
In this zero-gravity environment, there's no load being placed on your body, so it says, hey, I don't really need me anymore, do I? And then it proceeds to turn your muscles to jelly and weaken your bones. Zero gravity
Raisin.
changes your blood distribution too, giving you a balloon head and chicken legs. Even with our fancy space station shielding, you're getting bombarded with over 50 times the radiation than on Earth.
Oh,
and
that's
because
not
microgravity messes up how your digestive system works, you a lot more too. Ugh.
Oh.
Right now, there are no superhumans that have genetically adapted to life in space. But rather than waiting for natural selection to take its course over
over thousands of years, let's borrow from all the superhumans we've met so far. In you
Yes.
go. First, we'll add a Sherpa in for genes for better oxygen efficiency, and
Okay.
a Bajau in for superior breath-holding abilities.
Yeah, that would
From
be
the
pretty
Maasai
cool.
tribe, we'll grab the genes that help conserve water, but not
Okay.
the height genes. Can you sit down?
Yeah, we need you to
Instead,
be
we'll
tinier.
take the Pygmies compact and lightweight build. As it
Tinier
requires
is better.
less resources to sustain and also saves on rocket fuel. We can't forget the mutations from this video: the DLX3 gene for Indestructible Bones, and the MSTN gene for super strength and muscle preservation. And for radiation resistance, there's research which shows that extra P53 genes help to repair and protect DNA from damage. And
Okay.
lastly, why not throw in some plant DNA too, to allow you to create food via photosynthesis?
Is that even possible? I guess this is our ideal human being with all of the
Space.
superpowers. What the
Wakey,
alien?
wakey.
E.T. Hello. Oh my lord.
doing?
Oh my god.
I feel powerful, Doggo.
Oh yeah, I didn't fix your flatulence.
Thank you, Doggo.
Oh my gosh. Yes, frockin'
See ya next
farts.
time.
These are the smartest animals in history that have a higher IQ than even me.
Would you trust your life in the 4 opposable thumbs of a baboon?
No.
If you were aboard
Maybe.
a train bound for Cape Town in the 1880s, there's a good chance that was exactly what you were doing.
Wait a second. Are you about to tell me that there was a baboon managing a train?
Meet Jack, the
Seriously?
signal man.
There's no way.
A baboon responsible for preventing trains from crashing into each other.
They couldn't just pay a person to do this job?
Job in the first place? Well, it all started with a man named James Jumper Wide. He was a signalman who was famous for jumping between rail cars.
Pretty epic.
Until he fell.
Oh.
And lost both of his legs.
Ooh. Oh.
Although he built
God.
himself some pegs for legs and a makeshift wheelchair,
Peg
Jumper
leg.
thought his career as a signalman was over. Until he stumbled across Jack the Baboon, who had been trained to push an ox cart. After much begging and pleading with the owner, he bought Jack the Baboon and took him home.
Interesting. So he saw Jack the Baboon and then realized, this baboon is smart. Maybe I could teach him how to do my job so that... Wait, why did he want to teach him how to do his job? What was he going to do? Because he can't jump on more trains. He doesn't have any legs.
Jack turned out to be an alcoholic.
Wait, what?
Anything unless he was given a few drops of booze.
What?
And so, with enough encouragement, Jumper was able to train him to push his wheelchair to work.
Oh no, what is that? What is that little baboon butt?
Hard at work at the levers every single day. Approaching trains would blow a certain number of whistles, which corresponded to the track they wanted to be transferred to. And Jumper would hobble around with great difficulty and set the right levers for the train. And
Okay.
just by observing, Jack was able to learn and memorize these sequences. It didn't
Wait, I didn't realize that an animal was able to learn just by watching. I thought that most animals needed some sort of treat in order to learn, similar to like how you treat a dolphin how to do tricks, or a dog or a cat. When you show them how to do the thing, then you give them a treat as positive reinforcement. So this baboon was so smart that it didn't even need positive reinforcement. It already had the alcohol ready. So I guess it already was positively reinforced, and then it just knew to follow whatever this man did. And then it was able to do the job. That is impressive. I don't even know if I could figure that out.
take long till Jumper let him try flipping the levers himself. And soon, Jumper had given the monkey full control.
This
But it
feels a
didn't
little
take long for
unsafe.
railway authorities to receive a complaint from a passenger, and after confirming the ridiculousness for themselves, fired the pair on the spot.
Wait, how do you fire the baboon? The baboon was never hired to begin with, was he?
Pleaded with authorities to let Jack prove his abilities, and after harassing them for days, they eventually agreed
No.
to give him a chance.
Really?
Jack's performance left them speechless. In fact, Jack had performed so well that they made him an official employee of the railway, with a salary
Wait,
of
what?
20 cents a day and a half a bottle of beer weekly.
That's
I don't know what Jack
insanely
needed the
cool.
money for, but he
Yeah,
definitely
right.
made good use of that alcohol.
Wait a second, does that mean that this monkey is like one of the only monkeys in history that had to pay taxes? Is that what we're saying?
And after being employed for 9 years in the railway, Jack never made a single mistake, performing
Not
his job
even one.
better than a human could. He
Wow.
eventually died of tuberculosis in 1890, and his skull resides in Albany Museum to this day.
But memorizing a bunch of lemur positions is easy.
Well, why don't we...
Wait, no, that is not what I am saying. That seems extremely difficult and also very dangerous. I can't believe that humans let a monkey do a job that could potentially lead to a train in a disastrous moment. Like, if anything went wrong, trains could collide. So that is insane. I feel like the humans were stupid for letting the baboon do it, but the baboon ended up being smarter than the humans.
Play a memory game then. I'm gonna show you 5 random numbers between 1 and 9, and I'll hide them after a
5,
short
9,
amount
7,
of
4,
time,
1.
and you need to recall their positions in ascending order. We'll start easy. Ready, set,
Okay.
go.
Okay, 9, 2, 6, 3. Okay, so it's this one's 9, 2, 6, 3. I forget what the top one was. So 9. This one's 2. You guys can't even see what I'm doing, but no, okay. This one was 2. This one was 3. This one was 6. So it goes bang. This one. This one. This one. This one.
So get your answers ready
Right.
now. If it was 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah,
6, 8,
yeah,
and
yeah.
9,
I did
good
it!
job.
Yes.
Most of you got that. Now,
Okay.
let's ramp up the difficulty.
Wait, what do you
Ready,
mean?
Set, go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess none of you got that one.
No, wait.
But guess what? Ayumu
did I?
the chimpanzee.
I don't know if I did.
Ayumu is a part of the eye research
How?
project in Kyoto University.
How does it know?
Really good at this
What?
memory test. I mean, look at that speed.
Wait,
Look
what?
at that technique.
What the? What the? How is he? How? What the?
The project
How did he
was
do
actually
that?
started to research Ayumu's mum, Chimpanzee Eye, the first chimp in the world able to represent numbers with Arabic numerals, and she even liked to paint for fun.
She
So
painted the Mona
big
Lisa?
brain mum, but
The
big
monkey
brain
Lisa?
son. Ayumu answered the memory test correctly with an accuracy of 79% on average,
Wow.
maintaining his accuracy even with shorter test times. This
That
was
is
compared to
crazy.
human subjects on the same test, and well, this is what their graph looked like.
Pretty bad, right?
These results made it seem like young chimpanzees have a much better working memory than humans, but some scientists disagree
Really?
with this, saying,
You will have more practice time.
so in another experiment, the humans took more time to practice the task first. And after 2,500 trials,
That's
they
a lot.
were just able to match Ayumu's accuracy levels. I expected a bit
So
more
they were
out of
the
these
same.
humans, to be honest. Shouldn't they be way better with numbers than a chimpanzee?
yes,
Well,
yes.
speaking of numbers, Clever Hans was a horse from Berlin in the 1900s who
Hold on, wait a second. Okay, so I understand monkeys and different types of monkeys being, pretty smart compared to humans. We've all heard that before because they're kind of closely related to us. So it makes sense because they have, tools that they can make. They have their own communication. They clearly understand math and numbers. But a horse? Horses can do that too.
seemingly had the ability to do quick math. His
What?
owner would ask him a question, and Clever Hans would answer by tapping his hoof the correct number of times.
He could... Okay, that's a
Seems
neat
bit
party
sus,
trick.
and
Yeah, I don't know if I
the German Board
believe
of
that.
Education thought so too, because they conducted an official scientific investigation into Hans's abilities. A man
Okay.
named Oscar Funks designed the experiment and hypothesized that Hans's owner was sneakily sending him signals. So he made a random stranger
Okay, even if he was secretly sending him signals, that is still pretty impressive if they are able to deceive a giant group of people. Even if they aren't doing it, legitimately. If the horse is looking at the guy and the guy is giving a fun hand signal and the horse knows how many times to tap, that is still pretty impressive for a horse.
to ask the questions instead. But Hans was still able to nail the answers.
Okay, that's even more impressive.
Funks then used blinders
What?
on Hans so he couldn't see the questioner, and his ability to answer the questions plummeted. In
Oh.
some cases, he would even
What?
keep tapping his hoof on the ground indefinitely.
But why?
Couldn't he answer correctly when he couldn't see the questioner? Funks
I'm confused.
had an idea. He asked Hans a question that he himself didn't know the answer to, and amazingly, Hans proceeded to do this again. The conclusion Funks came to was that Hans was able to pick up on subtle, involuntary gestures from the questioner when his answer reached the right number.
Oh, okay, so the guy was technically giving signals, but it was involuntary. So he didn't do it on purpose, but when Hans would get to the answer, like if it was 16 divided by 4 and the answer was 4, as soon as, you know, Hans tapped 4 times, then the person, the trainer, would like twitch or something, and then Hans would know that he should stop and that he got it right, because he probably also got a treat.
He was so good at detecting these minute postural changes that the questioners themselves were totally unaware that they were doing them.
That is pretty
Hans
impressive.
may not have been a big brain maths genius, but he was a genius at reading people's body language.
He was a psychologist horse.
Humans themselves are notoriously bad at.
Interesting.
Can you imagine Hans as a detective, though?
Where are the drugs
I
going?
swear.
Yeah, you're lying. Oh no,
This whole
no.
occurrence coined the term the clever Hans effect, where an animal predicts what someone wants them to do without actually understanding their own actions. For this
Interesting.
reason, it's important to conduct animal experiments in a double-blind fashion, where nobody knows what the expected results are.
I see.
Hey, Alex.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
In 1977, animal psychologist Dr. Irene Pepperberg bought an African gray parrot from a pet store. She named him Alex.
So I know for a fact that African gray parrots are really good at mimicking different sounds. So if you say something to it, it's really good at saying it back to you. And sometimes you can even have like conversations with it if you can teach it enough words. Supposedly it knows as many words as like a 2 to 3 year old toddler could, which is pretty impressive.
Short for Avian Learning Experiment. And over the next
Alex.
30 years, she proceeded to make him the smartest animal in the world. Alex had a
What?
spoken vocabulary of over 100 words, but instead of just imitating words, he seemed to have an understanding of what they actually meant.
See, that is where it's taken to the next level, because a lot of parrots are able to parrot the words that you're saying back to you. If I say subscribe, you can say subscribe back. Super easy, but you might not understand what subscribe means, which is, you know, you go over to the red subscribe button and then you click the subscribe button. If you didn't know what it meant, then now you do. But anyway, this bird usually doesn't know what it's saying. It just knows how to mimic the sounds of what it's saying. It doesn't understand the meaning behind it. So this bird did, which is kind of weird.
He could label objects correctly based on their shape,
What?
size, color, or material.
I
and
couldn't even do that
create
until I was
his own
12.
ones, like when he was shown an apple for the first time and called it a banary, combining two words he had already
That's so
used,
cool.
banana and cherry.
Okay, who's in favor of letting this parrot name future fun things? Because that would be incredibly awesome if a parrot was in charge of naming stuff.
Ooh, look at the smart bird brain. Alex also showed genuine anger or surprise when the researchers tried to trick him during tests. If Alex asked for a banana and they gave him a nut instead, he would
No. No.
He also got frustrated with his fellow research buddies when they answered wrong. How many blocks are there?
4?
Get mad at
Was
them.
when he looked in the mirror one day and asked,
Wha-
What color?
this was the first instance in
What?
history of an animal subject asking a question. That too, an existential one.
Hold on. Wait, this is kind of reminding me of those videos on TikTok I've seen of the dogs that have the different buttons that they can press to speak with their owners. And sometimes they question their own existence. Like I remember this one dog pressed on buttons to ask, "Why am I dog?" How do you answer a dog asking, "Why is it a dog?"
There's plenty of past examples of animals communicating with humans using sign language and whatnot, but not a
Was that a
single
shadow
one
clone
has
jutsu?
asked a question. It's always been,
Give food, give drink, leave me human. Give food.
the cutest thing
Yeah,
is that every
that's
night
how I
before
communicate.
Dr. Pepperberg locked the lab up, Alex would say,
You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow.
Aww.
and those would be his last words before
No.
unexpectedly passing away one night.
Wait, how long did he live? 1976 to 2007. This bird was older than I am.
Age
Or it was.
31.
Wow.
So far, all of these smart animals have been in some form of captivity. But what about a big brain animal in the wild? In the
Dolphin.
late 1800s, ships had great difficulty navigating a treacherous stretch of water called Cook's Strait. It was notorious for wrecking ships, and sailors were terrified of passing through. One day, as a ship named the Brindle approached, the crew saw a Risso's dolphin bobbing happily in front of them. And of course, as humans always do, they proceeded to try and kill him.
Of course.
Thankfully,
That's
the
what we do
captain's
best.
wife managed to talk them out of it. But to their
Thank God.
surprise, despite the threats to his life, the derpy dolphin began to guide the ship safely through
What?
the dangerous water.
Wait a second. So this dolphin was under attack, and then after they stopped, it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to show you where to go now.
And from that day onwards, he did the same for every ship passing
What?
through. He was given the
That's a
name
long way.
BeckBroJack. When he
Huh.
navigated, not
So
a
cute.
single shipwreck occurred. Sailors
Wow.
would even refuse to enter the strait unless BeckBroJack had appeared to guide them.
Wait,
This
that's kind of
continued until
incredible.
1904, when someone aboard the SS Penguin fired their rifle
No!
at the dolphin. BeckBroJack was injured
No.
and he disappeared. The people were
Why would you
devastated.
do
A
this?
law was passed under the Sea Fisheries Act, protecting him from any other attacks on his life.
Wait, just
You wouldn't
him?
be surprised if he decided to never help out a human
Why not
again,
all
but
dolphin?
On one fateful day, BeckBroJack reappeared.
What?
Hey guys. He was
Oh my
a
gosh.
kind-hearted, forgiving creature, ready to help out humans in need again.
That's so nice.
Except for the SS Penguin,
Don't help
which
them.
ended up shipwrecked in the same
Good.
waters in 1905.
I love
And
karma.
After being a companion to sailors for over 24 years, BeckBroJack was last seen in April of 1912. There
So,
were various
he could still be
speculations
out
about
there.
his disappearance, but I'd like to think that he found a nice place to retire in after
Yes.
a long, fulfilling life. He seemed
I
like
hope
a
so.
pretty cool dude and is fondly remembered as a hero to many New Zealanders.
Oh my gosh, they made a
It's really
sculpture of
amazing
him.
how all these animals were so smart, and it's also amazing how I am a dumb doggo. See you next time.